Good morning, it's Friday. It's finally Friday. Not only is it going to be a wonderful day because it's Friday and the weekend is here, but today is the day that we've been waiting for maybe all of our lives. Today, something huge is happening.
It's an end of an era. I think
is.
at KHEA Radio, we've been trying for months, and the day is finally here. And it's kind of one of those days where it's like my kids are finally leaving the house and going out into the real world, feeling that I feel like one day I'm going to have. Today's that day, and we're announcing the winner of our cruise giveaway winners tonight at 7 o'clock.
It's bittersweet, you know? You think of this day, and I honestly didn't know if it would ever get here, but today and tonight, to be more specific, 7 o'clock, Bayshore Grill in San Leon, Texas, we are going to be announcing, we are going to be going live right here with you guys. We're going to be going live and announcing the winner. It could be you. We're going to be calling your name, and I'm excited. If the person is there, if you're there for that experience, it's going to be magical. Jumping up and down, water flying. I don't know.
I do want to remind people that you can come and eat dinner with us tonight. We're going to be there starting at 5:30. So if you want to be there, eat lunch, eat dinner with us, maybe try to, scoot something underneath the table if you want in order to win the cruise. I'm totally fine with that.
You would be accepting bribes. Hey, I have my bang here and my Texas Chronicles koozie, and I picked the that pineapple flavor because I wanted to imagine I was on the cruise because I don't get to go. But here we go. Good morning. This is KHEA Radio 99.5 FM. This is Kickstart. I'm Gardy.
And I'm Curt.
It's 8:41. We're excited because it's Friday. We have an amazing weekend lined up. Pretty much all your plans laid before you.
Yeah, we got some major announcements that we're making in the next couple of days. Yesterday, we had a busy meeting with the city of Lamarck.
Went great.
I can't tell you any of those details. We also had some meetings earlier in the week about the United Way, about something that we can't give you details about, but you know what we can give you details about is our cruise giveaway that we're announcing tonight at 7 o'clock. So if you're listening on the FM, if you're watching on our Facebook Live, make sure that you go and check on our Facebook page, enter to win the cruise, but then also be ready tonight, 7 o'clock. We'll make the announcement of who's walking away with a free cruise courtesy of Your Vacation Edge and free transportation provided by the Van TX.
It's going to be great. Hey, I see Walter Gates. Good morning. He said, see you tonight. We will see you tonight. And I see a bunch of other people and friends that are on our Facebook stream. If you're listening at 99.5 FM and you want to come hang out with us, have a good time, you can bring your family friendly. I know they have pool and some other games as well. Also some great menu options. My family loves going to Bayshore Grill. I'm going to be there tonight. Kurt's going to be there. All the interns are going to be there. It's going to be an amazing opportunity to hang out. And then we're going to be calling a name. It could be your name, and you'll be cruising later this year. Actually, in September. We won't be, but we still have this pina colada bang right here, energy drink. And so I'm going to close my eyes and take a sip and pretend like I'm on that cruise. And it's just going to be a little bit magical. That's good.
That looks good.
You know what we should have did? And I just had this thought right now.
What's that?
Had some palette music. It was like hula music. Like, dun, dun, dun. Didn't think about it until just now.
Dang. We've done goofed.
Yeah.
We've done goofed.
So this afternoon we have a couple video shoots. One's going to be a Shine on Lamarck. That's going to be at Snow King. If you know about Snow King, then you are probably from this area like I am, and it's been here for years. Awesome snow cones. I actually ate there yesterday. Probably going to eat some more food. You can get like chopped beef sandwiches, like hamburgers, Frito pie, which is one of my favorites. So that's what I had.
You can also get the hot dog.
You can't get a hot dog.
I got a plain hot dog. You don't need anything special on that Snow King hot dog.
But they have it all. They have it all if you want it.
Yeah, so that's our Shine on Lamarck. We're going to be dropping that video not next week, but the week after.
Yeah.
That one's going to be fun. And then we also are filming at the Highland Bayou Park today at noon. We're asking the public to come and join us. If you are around, if you live in the city of Lamarck, they actually sent out a notification to everybody. Said, hey, come join. We're filming some stuff for a awesome video that we can't give you details about just yet.
But you can be in our video.
But you can be in the video.
I feel like you have to give a little bit of details away. And the detail is we need models. If you're an aspiring actor, if you're an aspiring normal citizen, this is for you. So it's open to everybody. If you want to potentially be in a video that's going to be releasing very soon and it's going to be awesome, I promise you that, then come out. Highland Bayou Park. We're going to be there. It's right in Lamarck, Texas. That's pretty close to where I grew up and where my parents live. I used to go to Highland Bayou Park, and me and my friends, we would play music. I'm not even joking. But there was a pavilion, and it's still there. I think I've told you this before.
The pavilion. This
Yeah.
is where we're actually shooting tonight as well, or this afternoon at lunchtime.
Yeah, so what we would do is we'd move the picnic tables over so that way we could get to the power, which was really high. And so we'd bring in an extension cord, and then I'd bring my drums. We'd bring our guitar amps. We'd bring bass amps, and then we'd invite everybody that we could to come out and watch us play. And we had our own concerts out there. And I think I mentioned this earlier when we were talking about things that are historic in the Steel Mark. I was like, you got to take it back to like 01, 02. I was putting
When
on
you
concerts
were doing it, right?
in Highland Bayou Park, and nobody knew except for like my friends. So, but shout out to Lamarck. We're going to be out there. Shout out to you as well. So, hey, good morning, Colleen. Good morning, Kay, Kim, Steve. Everybody's hanging out with us. Chelsea said, yay, the cruise giveaway. That announcement's happening tonight.
Yeah, I don't know if everyone's really super excited about it or not. I can't tell. I mean, I haven't heard anybody like outside like yelling, "Give us the cruise. Give us the cruise."
Yeah. That's what you were hoping for.
I'm expecting that tonight. So, when everyone's there. We did get a couple of questions on the Facebook Live, and I do want to make sure that we clarify this. No, you do not have to be present at Bayshore Grill in order to win. You can actually listen live on our Facebook Live. If you can't tune in to listen live and we do call your name, we will do our best to reach out to you. We do have to give the winner by June 15th. So if that prize is not claimed by June 15th, then we'll make sure that we get that out to you. Then we'll repick the winner by June, we have to have the winner by June 15th.
We know what you mean. It's
Yes,
going to be pulling a name out of a hat. Kurt Casper, you're the winner. You're going on a cruise.
What? If only that was the case. But it can't be. I can't win. Only you can win.
Me? Okay, that's cool. So if you don't claim your prize, then I guess I'm going. But it's 8:46 right now. It is Friday. Let us know if you're watching on Facebook. In the comments, reply below. What do you have going on this weekend? What plans do you have? Are you going to be at Bayshore Grill tonight? Maybe you can't make it, but you'll be there in spirit, and you can tune in on Facebook, which is awesome as well. We have an awesome show today. We're going to have TJ from I-45 Now in studio, talking about some big moves that he has been making. I-45 Now has become the local leader in getting the word out about events, whether they're current events or like things that are taking place in the community, positive things, fundraisers, breaking news. It's become the go-to for our area. So I know there's plans for expansion. We're going to see how that works, and he's always a great time to sit down and chat about even the history of our area. I'm sure you've noticed that. Anytime you talk to TJ and you bring up something, he's like, well, and of course I don't know. I don't know whatever he's about to drop on me, but that's like a little preface in there. Well, back in the 30s or like in the 1800s in this area, and it's like little facts, and I'm like, oh yeah, we knew that, right?
Yeah,
he knows we don't know.
He knows we don't know.
Okay.
He knows we don't know. Yeah, for sure. It's funny to sit and talk. We were at an event. His dad's the same way. Chris from the United Way just knows everybody and knows information that you're just like, how do you know that? How do you know that? It's kind of cool to see.
Yes. United Way's cool. We got some stuff teaming up. And then we have a 10 o'clock guest. I think we're going to be talking about some wrestling.
Yeah, we're going to be talking to Reality of Wrestling Superstars. They're going to be actually competing in an event in front of the Houston Dynamo game Saturday night. So it's going to be wrestling and soccer combined together. I cannot wait for that.
Earlier I was talking about putting on concerts and stuff. I've actually played the Dynamo game with my band back in like 2011 or something like that, which is awesome. But the Dynamo, there's a lot of big Houston fans, Houston soccer fans. And it's been, I think, up and down for the Dynamo. Like, they started out strong, and they were like even winning championships and stuff. But I know they still got a great team, and it's the highest level of the United States professional sports. So I'm glad we have a team.
Yeah, we're going to be talking to Aiden Cristiano. He's going to be taking on the former champ. The former champ.
Who?
Oh, the name escapes me right now.
I think he's taking on Mysterious Q, which Mysterious...
Yes.
Yeah, so we're going to be learning about all that. But Mysterious Q, I think he's the former like Texas champion of Reality of Wrestling, and I know he's held some belts in some other areas as well. But that's going to be at 10 o'clock. I love talking about that stuff.
I wanted to say Gino, but Gino's taking on somebody else.
Chavo Guerrero Jr., who is a legend whenever it comes to wrestling. No joke. I mean, like his family, Eddie Guerrero and even his dad. We can talk about all this later. I don't want to get too deep into it and show how why does he know so much about wrestling? Because it's awesome, and they have it locally right here. Reality of Wrestling. Booker T puts on some amazing matches and produces some great content. So this is KHEA Radio 99.5 FM, and we just see TJ here. He just walked in, so we're gonna see if we can take care of him and make sure he has everything he needs, and we'll get him in studio.
Yeah, super
asking
excited.
all the tough questions.
Yes, all the tough questions. I think there's expansion happening, and we're super excited to hear all of that, what's going on today. And again, one more time, we're giving away a cruise tonight, 7 o'clock. Come down to Bayshore Grill. Yes.
Can you believe it?
You're shaking your head no.
I can't believe. I'm just thinking in my head right now, man, the cruise. The cruise is going to be given away to somebody tonight, and it's actually happening.
Yes, it's happening tonight. Bayshore Grill, 7 o'clock. Make sure you come out. Make sure that if you can't come out, that you listen live on Facebook. We're going to announce that winner, and we're going to have that to you so that you guys can be blessed with a free cruise. I know a bunch of people are excited about it.
We have to give a shout-out to our intern, our newest intern, who showed up today ready to work, brought a notepad and pen for me because I was trying to sketch something yesterday for a taco logo, of course, go figure. And we couldn't find paper in the studio, which I feel is probably pretty important. So she brought a pen. And she brought this notepad, so that way we'll always be prepared. And then she brought something else that I think, I already had one, and I know it touched your heart as well.
It was second breakfast. I walked out there. She messaged and she said, "Hey, Kurt, I'm here." Right, Maisie, you said that. You texted and said, "Hey, I'm here." But it was a little, past 8 o'clock. Just a little past. And I walked out. And I said, "I kind of want to fire somebody today."
You did. I heard you say that.
Right?
Yeah,
you did? And I walked out, and she has this box, and I goes, "What's in that box?" And she goes, "Donuts." And I was like, oh, my gosh, I take it all back. But then I thought I could, potentially.
Yeah, so we're going to take a quick break. This is KHEA Radio, 99.5 FM. This is Kickstart. Chelsea said it's echoing.
Oh, just now. Oh, that studio camera. It's fine. That camera had audio coming through it.
The whole time?
No.
Okay.
No. We're good.
Sweet. So, okay, it's 8:51. Thank you for letting us know that. Those are things that we always want to know. So we're going to get TJ in here. Who has heard of I-45 now? I feel like most of the people that are on the stream right now have heard of it, because I know most of you guys. So hopefully y'all are doing great. Feel free to share this video out and let us know.
TJ.
If y'all are going to be there tonight. I see some people answering.
Man, how are you? Good. Yourself? Where you want me at? You're going to be right there in that chair.
What's up, bub? How are you?
Awesome.
So we're going to be learning about everything that goes on locally. I-45 now has become the resource for local news. I would say you're definitely the leader in local news. And
aw, that's so sweet.
Well, who else? Who would be next? If there's the leader in local news.
See, I can't even think of anybody else.
You can't overlook the Galveston Cat Daily News.
Yeah.
Oldest newspaper in the state of Texas.
But I get my news from Facebook. And your Facebook. Your I-45 now.
Yeah.
Facebook. I'm not going someplace else to get my news.
Facebook does have some news that isn't, for lack of a better word, they can be fake or misconstrued. But if it runs through I-45 now.
Wait. You telling me, about Kurt having a date?
Okay.
That's not fake news?
Ooh.
Wow.
Woo. Hard hitting. So this is
I put him in a tight spot.
I didn't know this was going to be that kind of interview.
Yeah, that's it. Wait. Gardy and I talked a little earlier ago. This has all been planned out.
Dang. I softball it.
Oh, man.
Nah, I'm just kidding. Kurt's been doing some good work for us, too, on the side.
He has, yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Because I don't know if you guys have your audience, not you guys. I know you guys have seen it. He had this great piece on this kid in League City. What? How old? 12?
12 years old.
12 years old. Goes out and plays taps on his front porch in his neighborhood.
Yeah.
And then he finds this veteran that lived right next door. This guy was, he was done as far as, even though he'd served our country and everything else. He's like, I'm done. I wouldn't even put my flag out. This kid, 12-year-old kid, re-inspired this guy. And it's a great story. And it's showing because one of the reasons we have the audience we do, is those are the type of things we're doing. These kind of really hyper local, what's happening in your neighborhood. That all came from one of our viewers who just emailed me that day because Curt was asking me, said, what am I going to do? I said, heck, I don't know. And then all of a sudden this email came in. It's a God thing. I mean, just like, hey, this is this great story we got to tell. And it was really well done.
That kid was 12, and that's what I told Curt, because in the video it has portions of him playing, and he sounds amazing.
Yeah.
And he said, how long had he been playing? Since like August or October. He just started.
And it's not one of those fake electronic trumpets, by the way. You see those nowadays. That you just always have to start blowing, and it plays whatever programmed song it's in. I didn't know those existed till about 10 years ago or so. That's a real thing.
That was probably the most powerful part of the entire interview when I was talking to the veteran. The veteran was like, nowadays when you have a veteran who, passes away, there'll be a trumpeter that has like some sort of like, music thing in it.
Yeah.
But he wants that kid to play it live.
That's awesome.
Thanks to that story, this kid's probably going to have his parents are going to get money back for their music lessons.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's good. I'm going to go on over to his neighborhood just to hear him one night.
One night at 7, it'd be great.
7 o'clock every evening, right?
But not tonight. Because there's a cruise giveaway tonight.
Hey, we got 5
Shameless
seconds.
plug.
We can go on the FM right now. Here we go. Good morning. You're listening to KHEA Radio 99.5 FM. This is Kickstart. I'm Gardy.
And I'm Curt.
Right now it is 8:56, and we have a guest in studio. It's TJ with I-45 Now.
If you haven't heard
Morning,
about
guys.
How's it going?
Good morning. If you haven't heard about I-45 Now, you've probably been living under the rock for like the last 2
very
years.
big rock, too.
It's year 3, right?
It's weird because I tell this story all the time with folks. So I launched the company in 2015. But then I had a really bad accident and couldn't walk or anything like that. So while we were around, we really weren't around. Mm-hmm. So in all reality, it was 2017, April of 2017, that we really got up and running after I had my recovery and gotten this kind of game planned on. And then Car Halava, who's our executive editor, come on board. Our executive producer came on board. And then it was kind of going along. But then Hurricane Harvey hit, and that really changed everything because we were out in the middle of it all and showing folks what was happening in neighborhoods, the sad stories, the great stories of rescues and community coming together and stuff. And that really, it went to the core of who we are, what we wanted to do, and it just took off from there. And we've kept that. It's one of those things I always tell folks: you go down a path and you think this is the path I want to go. Then all of a sudden something makes you take a different route. Mm-hmm. That's what happened with us. And we took that different route. And that, I don't ignore when the doors open. And the door opened on what we were doing was filling a void that was in this community. So we're really proud of what we got.
How many people are on the team there? And how many people are on the team, I guess, back during Harvey? Because you mentioned earlier you get tips from, community people, video and stuff. Was that the case back then, too?
Yeah. Back then there was 3 of us. Me and Carr were the only quote-unquote full-time people. Mm-hmm. And we had, actually 4, we had a salesperson who actually stepped in to help on news, and she was part-time, and we had a part-time, community news editor. But essentially it was the 4 of us, covering everything. But our viewers they started sending us photos and videos, and it made it look like we had 8,000 people out there. Because they were showing what was happening in their neighborhood. And that's part of what we do is like, here's what's happening. And to this day, a lot of our content is us, our staff, or a lot of our viewers have, I call them trained now. We had a rollover accident in Webster the other day. There was just no way I was going to get to it, or one of our staff was going to get to it. And we got a photo from one of our loyal viewers. I mean, she's Gina Conklin, I should point out. I give her credit all the time. She happened to be on her way, see it. Diverted, pulled into the parking lot, took photos, several photos.
Does she own a local restaurant?
Huh? Yeah, the burger place up in Hubcap Grill.
That's right.
Let's give him a Hubcap Grill, really in Seabrook. Very good, very good. Anyway, so she takes photos and everything else, and I joked with her. I said, "Hey, while you're there, why don't you get an interview?" And everything else. She says, "I would have, but I didn't have my makeup on," which I kind of laughed. I said I was actually joking, but our viewers are really good. They'll tip us off to stuff. They'll send us some imagery if we can't get there. But then our job is we have the resource to confirm what really happened. And then that's the part that people want to know. Mm-hmm. And then we go out and get that information. And if we can, we make it to the scene as well.
Do you get people sending in their highlight reels, like, this is my audition tape, I'm going to go get this interview?
Not until recently when I said, okay, we're hiring people. No, which I was kind of surprised of. I thought for sure we'd start seeing. But now we're starting to get a lot of attention of folks. A lot of college grads. You really want to have a shot at stuff. I'm getting a lot of those right now. But what we, it's a little different with what our core is getting out there on main scenes and everything else. So you actually need some folks that got something like Curt. It's the folks that have experience to go on to a scene. I mean, and again, I got to brag on this guy a little bit over here. His first day doing something with us was a Saturday afternoon, and we thought it was going to kind of a light day. Then all of a sudden, the whole world changed. This postal driver just got in a major wreck on 517, and I'm thinking, okay, here's Curt, first time to actually work with us. He has no logo, no cards, nothing. He has a camera and just the
a
will
DSLR camera to be,
right.
Not a news camera, a
DSLR.
DSLR.
Yeah, and next thing I know, we're getting live video from the scene in the middle of the crash scene.
That was the most scariest live video I've ever done.
Is it because you were in the street, or it was your first time?
First time on I-45. I was nervous. I've never been I've done news for, I did news for 2 whole years.
You know what you're doing.
It.
Yeah.
But it was just one of those things like, oh my gosh.
Well, I know, because I saw the video, and you asked me, like, hey, did you see the video? I was like, yeah, I was trying.
He was apologizing to me the whole time.
I asked if it was I was like, was it windy out there? You're like, no, it wasn't. Because Curt was like doing this.
It took me 2 minutes.
The Holy Ghost.
I took 2 minutes, and I was like, oh, please stop shaking. Please. And I was like, I can't sit here any longer just like breathing. I need to go now. I sat for 2 minutes before I even went live. Stop shaking.
Going over what was going live on anything can be a struggle sometimes, because you're thinking, I don't want to sound like a fool. What am I going to say? You can repeat yourself and get your cadence.
Right, and that type of thing is important, because that's something you talk about, repeat yourself, and that's something we do too when we do go live. Particularly social media, it's different from the days of you'd go live on television, and, all right, Anchor throws it to you. There's no Anchor throwing anything to us. It's like, okay, hi, here we are, and we have we have this philosophy, I-45, don't say what we don't know. Sometimes all you say is, we have a crash. We don't know anything else at that point. We just know where we are and where the crash is. Sometimes that's good enough. And you just start with that, and when you're honest with the audience, saying, here we are, here's this crash scene, here's what we know, here's what we don't know, then repeat it.
I like y'all do updates. Like, even on posts, like if that was a live post, it'd be like, update as you find out more information.
Well, but part of it is, and we talked about the fake news on social media.
Yeah.
What happens a lot of times is someone will take that initial story, go share it somewhere, and then add their own comment to it, and it's not accurate. And you have a lot of that. People mean well. They think, well, it's better safe than sorry, and then they'll go make up stuff. Oh, I heard this. I heard that. That's why we don't report something unless we verify it. And that's it because I always tell folks 90% of the time when folks think they're reporting on something, and I'm not talking about news media, just general public, they are so wrong.
Yeah.
They got 10% right, 90% wrong. Problem is the 90% they got wrong is important stuff. And so that's why we think it's important, because if someone has shared that post, we need to go correct, not make a new one, go not correct, but update what we just had so that story continues on. So no matter where it's shared, and that's the difference from social media versus the traditional media, is that if I report something when I was in the newspaper business, in the Daily News or the Texas City Sun, I'd write something, it'd be in the morning paper. And if things changed between the time I filed that story and the time it came out, I had no opportunity to fix that. I had 24 hours. That drive me nuts. And even when you go change the online version, your viewership wasn't in the habit yet.
Yeah.
Or to go and check the online version, because I've already seen that. And the word of mouth would kind of have the incorrect story. And then, so now that's why we say when we update, here's the update. Here's what time we did it. Here's the info.
I love that you can add like an editor's note. You know,
Yeah.
I've had to do that on one of my stories. I had to go through and just clarify because someone was like, how do I get food? You can't get food. You
Right.
missed the deadline, but that wasn't in there. So you put an editor's note and say, like, this is the right information.
Yeah, that's important, too. I'm glad you bring that up because there are things that, no matter what story you do, there's going to be things you hadn't thought of. Mm-hmm. You're not reporting it for myself. We're reporting it for our audience. And our audience is going to ask questions. So you try to think of questions your audience is going to want to know. And you try to get those addressed. But sometimes you may not have something right. You go, oh, well, that's a good question. So, yeah, you go update the story or you add an editor's note. Hey, by the way, this is, and what Kurt's talking about is that Galveston County Food Bank putting together the school packs for the summer. The volunteers put together how that's signed up is already done before they get to that part. I mean, they've already designated where it's going and all that other stuff because that's an ongoing effort. But there are folks when they saw it, like, well, hey, my kid could be, they need the help.
Yeah.
But there's two things that happen there. One, we tell them, hey, it's already done, but now they know about it for next year. But the other part of it is the food bank reached out to a lot of those folks and said, what help do you need? We have this, other resources available. So and we're able to help do that. Yeah, so I appreciate doing that because particularly breaking news scenes, which is a lot of what we do, change from 1 minute to the next.
Mm-hmm. You talked about verifying. We don't report anything unless it's verified. Are you talking about with like officials? I know Kurt, with the background, he was like, hey, I need to have two sources before I can even, right? You talk about two sources, but like
usually
verifying.
That's the thing. And you'll see it all the time now. Like ESPN used to be terrible about this. They would say, source says. And I would like freak out.
Yeah,
because they're like one source.
Sources
they
say.
don't tell you the source, but they're still going to put the information out there.
Yeah.
And then it's like it becomes clickbait. It's like, oh, awesome, I'm going to click on this. And that's not news. In my opinion, news is you have two sources, you have them come forward with who they are, so that way you're verifying that information.
Well,
otherwise, it becomes clickbait.
Yeah, and outside, and where's my soapbox? Because that's one of
you can borrow Kurt's. It's actually over here. Kick it over.
I hate the unnamed sources bit, and sometimes you have to kind of do that. And we will say Galveston Police said, because we'll have it from multiple sources within the department, people who are authorized to tell us stuff. But it'll be like, I get this part from this guy, this part from this person, this part from this sergeant or whatever, and then you put it together. And then, so you'll say Galveston Police. But when we can, we attribute it to Galveston Police Captain Joshua Schroeder, Galveston Police Sergeant Xavier Hancock, or Alan Berkey, Corporal from Texas City Police Department, or those type of things. But the whole kind of double source of verification, if you've got an official spokesperson,
Then you're good, yeah.
Then you're good because they've verified it with they're not on the scene most of the time, so they're getting it from multiple. They're getting the same thing, the captain and whatever, and then they pass it along. But yeah, and there are sometimes too. I'll tell folks is we'll question something an authority tells us, and we go, that doesn't sound right.
They don't like that, huh?
And no one likes to be told, but
for sure.
But a lot of times, what it is that it's a well-meaning intention, but they just have the information wrong, and this is where experience comes in. Like sometimes it's minor stuff. Oh, they were headed eastbound. Well, that road doesn't go eastbound. How's that? Or it happened. Oh, yeah, you're right. It's a perfect example is last night. So I don't know if it's been the most popular story we've had on the last 24 hours. A San Leon woman had a bucket list item, and that was jumping off the KHEA Bridge.
Did you see
this? Is not a suicide attempt, by the way.
Bucket list.
Her bucket list was to get drunk, get in a bathing suit, and jump off the KHEA Bridge over the Clear Creek Channel.
Wow.
So now the initial report we have is someone's come off the bridge. Now, you don't know if it's an intentional jump or someone's just goofing off and falls or,
pushed,
whatever it is.
Anything.
And that bridge is under construction, so access to the edge is a little bit easier right now, believe it or not. And so as this story kind of developed, we start off. So when we first hear about it, we know that we're hearing about boats in the water and people are looking. And so when I get a hold of the police chief, Chris Reed, I said, hey, you guys looking for somebody that's gone off in the water off the bridge? He says, nah, it's not been reported. Now, I could have gone out and said, well, Chief Chris Reed said this, and then the story goes nowhere. And I just texted back and said, you sure? Because we're pretty certain something's going on right now. It may not be exactly as I described, but there's something going on. And he comes back and says, oh, take that back. Hang on. And boom, tells me, he says, yeah, there's someone's come off the bridge and she's been retrieved. And so we got that. And then the next thing we know, the next part of that update is the whole, okay, she's conscious, she's breathing, which, God, that bridge is not, it's up there. And she's conscious, she's breathing, and she's told us this was a bucket list thing. Yeah,
I wonder if Chris Reed saw it on I-45 now. That's funny. Like, usually police scanners. Like, how do people get their information?
Matter of fact, that came from last night. Our executive producer, Car Halava, who monitors that stuff at night. Heard it, texted me and said, "Hey, we got this going on." And so that's when we start verifying the info.
Yeah.
And sometimes folks get upset because we're not. People will be somewhere and they'll see a lot of police lights. And last night it was busy. The Kemah Boardwalk had Rock the Dock, so there's a big crowd. They're coming out. They're seeing police lights everywhere. And people are frustrated we don't have it up at that very second.
Yeah.
We'll have it up pretty quick. But until I have something really verified, if we're not physically there to see it, I'm real leery about reporting that. That's part of the reasons why we're trying to expand and get more staff on board so that we can get to those things a little bit quicker for those bigger things.
One more thing I wanted to touch on. Me and Curt have had this conversation whenever it comes to what qualifies as news, and Curt says, and I turn to him for this stuff a lot because he's worked in it, for a long time. And what, in your opinion, what qualifies as news?
Anything that affects somebody's life.
Yep.
So if it's traffic, you report on traffic because it could divert your life. It could affect your life. You report on that lady jumping out because people are seeing.
It affects lives. Yeah,
it affects them. So that's, to me, anything that affects somebody can be counted as news.
It goes into. There's a line from the TV series West Wing that I love. Alan Sorkin wrote into a line, and there's mad cow. Remember when mad cow disease was happening, and there happened to be an incident in which they'd found some meat in the country. It was mad cow. And they're like, well, do we tell the public or we don't tell the public? And they're going through it. And Tony Ziegler's character, he says in that, he says, well, this is, no. This is the 99-cent story. This is the story. Everyone understands the 99-cent hamburger at McDonald's. All right? We know what that means. 99 cents, you get a burger. Everybody knows what that means. And I use that definition to this day, 99-cent story, which means everybody understands this. Everybody is interested in this type of thing. So that's what it is. You see police lights on your street. You want to know what it's about. Mm-hmm. You're not likely going to walk down there and say, hey, what y'all doing here? One, most of the time the officers are going to say, you're not in danger, go back to your house. And because the officers have a bigger job to do. When we show up at a scene, we don't go bother any random officer. We know who to talk to. Mm-hmm. So it's a little different. Our background, our training, we go, all right, the day that Curt's out on FM 517 covering that that massive crash that luckily no one was killed in. By the way, I should point out, I'm calling ahead of time to the chief deputy who wasn't there to say, hey, the sheriff's office is handling it and say, hey, we're sending somebody. This is who he is. He doesn't have an ID on him yet or anything like that. And I said,
look for the hot dog suit.
Yeah. I was actually kind of jokingly saying he may be in flip flops for all I know, So, but I said, but he's going to identify himself and he's with us. He's good. And I said, okay, yeah, I'll let the sergeant know on scene. And sure enough, and the sergeant, who's some of our biggest fans are a law enforcement, by the way, and so we get there because they like the fact that we're verifying the info. Mm-hmm. So we get to the scene and we're covering that stuff, but we know who to talk to. All right, what's going on here? How did it happen? And sometimes it's just as simple as we don't know how it happened yet. All we know is this is happening. And that's what I call honesty in reporting. Just tell folks what you do know, and then tell them we don't know this right now. Mm-hmm. And then sometimes our job is to put down rumors, particularly stuff around schools nowadays. Oh, I heard there 25 kids got in a brawl and there was a kid stabbed. Wow. Or something like that. That's, no, it didn't happen. Oh, so-and-so said, so-and-so's wrong. Now, I could tell that person one-on-one, but when it's a big enough thing, we had a thing recently with Texas City ISD, a social media rumor got around. And it got so rampant that people believed it was fact, and it wasn't. I knew it wasn't fact, so we weren't reporting on it until such time as it got such a big deal that it was interfering with how operations were happening at the school. So Mike Matrenga, the head of security for Texas City ISD, and I spoke. I said, all right, so what do we need to do here? He says, listen, this isn't true. We took care of this already. It's a rumor. There's no verified facts on this at all. I don't care what anyone says. It's not true. I'm going to take the word of a retired Secret Service agent over just someone who heard something.
Right.
And then so he said, listen, there's just irresponsible people sharing this information and making it worse. That's a story because it was affecting people's lives.
Mm-hmm.
People were like deciding whether or not they were going to let their kids go to school that day. Now, fear is it's understandable after the Santa Fe shooting a year ago, after other incidents that have happened across this country. Folks are fearful about the safety of their kids. That's the parental instinct. But at the same time, when these type of things go rampant, social media is great for a lot of things, but it can get in the way of truth all too often.
Yes.
So a lot of times we'll just go out there just to say, hey, here's what the truth is. Here's what the verified information is. Sometimes the truth is out there in those other forums, but it's not verified yet for various reasons. And so you just try to make sure it's verified. And we tell folks, until we have it verified. And for example, we're on a breaking news story. We'll tell folks, this is a developing story. We'll update this as more verified information becomes available.
What's the big hot topic today? We're talking with TJ from I-45 Now on 99.5 FM, KHEA radio.com. What is that big thing today that people are just like, that's what they're talking about in the coffee shops, that's what they're talking about in the grocery stores?
It depends on, politics is always kind of a big thing. That's not something we get into a whole lot except in a different form, but it's more of, folks are talking about like kind of the national politic and the like. On a hyper local level, I mean, folks are talking about, well, school is out, and what do we got coming up this summer, and the stuff down on the beach down in Galveston, those are kind of the hot topics that are getting out there right now.
There's always the levels. It's like, oh, well, there's a red flag waving, and then the fecal matter and all this stuff during Memorial.
I think that's important too. I talked about that kind of rumor thing that goes along with it.
Yeah.
Listen, this is where having context matters. The riptides are a real deal, and those warnings are going out, and the red flags. And in fact, we're working with the Galveston Beach Patrol that they do a regular update that actually a large audience doesn't see, because when you're going to go to the beach, the last thing you're going to think, oh, let me go to the Galveston Beach Patrol, look what the flags are, So, but they do come to sources like us. So we're creating these promo videos. So when they put their updates out in the morning, we can put it out too, and you see the flag and it tells you what it's about. But the other one comes to those beach monitors that talks about the fecal matter measurements that are in the water. Now let's understand it's runoff after heavy rains and stuff like that. Those increase, and I'm not saying any of this is safe, but it's in context. One area, one spot, but then the headline on the Houston news stations just love to run with that stuff. Careful when you go to the beach, and everything else. And I'm like I'm rolling my eyes going, yeah, one beach, quarter-mile section.
Whoop. Yeah, dip like one little beaker
not
in there.
Not Stewart Beach.
Yeah.
Not East Beach. Not Far West End or anything like that. And I think that's irresponsible unless it's serious, unless there's an actual alert.
Right.
I get the distrust of government and everything. I'm trust me, I'm questioning government officials all the time, and I'm always kind of looking at them side eye, going, I don't want to downplay anything, but I also don't want to put it out there and be the whole cry wolf situation too of that. And there was a time that week after week after week, because it was a slow news summer, every Thursday you could count that the 10 o'clock news on one of the Houston stations was going to talk about fecal matter or the test results, because they go and look at this monitor, this online chart, which is there. Public can see it too. Problem is, no one reads the disclaimer on that. Is here's when the measurement was taken. Here's what it does. We're going to do another one at this time, and here's the one location.
Do you ever have the itch to kind of combat what those Houston people will say?
We have to sometimes, because it'll get out there. We just had an example this week. there was a fender bender involving a school bus in Santa Fe. All right? Mm-hmm. And folks saw the bus. They saw the police cars. They saw an ambulance. So they think, okay, the worst just happened. We checked on it. It didn't block any roads. 6 kids on board. No one was hurt. Well, so many calls to come in. The school district put out a press release on it. It was the lead on a lot of Houston stations. And because the afternoon news, it was a school bus. And we probably should have gotten it out there a little faster ourselves, just kind of put it down, but I didn't. Fender bender versus an actual crash that affects folks on a larger scale. But so it comes out there, school bus crash. And, with the graphic, and everyone says, hey, and then all of a sudden we start getting notes. Hey, what happened here? Why, and what happened? How many people are hurt and all this other stuff? And I went back and actually looked at all the reports. None of them said, hey, no one's hurt. We just know there's a school bus crash and they're checking the kids. Mm-hmm. We already knew no one had been hurt. We already knew the kids were actually already on another bus headed somewhere else. We already knew that the driver had been cited. So we probably should have ourselves been up, not probably, we should have been up faster with our report to put that down. We were up later than the Houston guys were. We were in the middle of another story at the time. And so that's what actually convinced me I need to hire up a managing editor to kind of take care of that. So if anyone's looking.
What does that role look like? So
managing editor is actually, this is somebody who grabs that stuff that's coming in, whether it's a press release here or they're tracking down when someone says, hey, what's going on here? They're actually, that person is sitting there taking care of that on the day side of that. We're good at night, but it's one of those things I've been kind of filling that role when I'm in a sales meeting or I'm in another public event or something like that, which I do a lot of. It's kind of hard to do both at the same time. So that's why you see me constantly picking up my phone, because I'll get an alert and I look down just to make sure, hey, is this something I got to get on right away?
Is that something that we should be concerned about? Like you just told her, like,
he's like,
hey, I gotta go.
We're like, what happened? We missed it.
Yeah.
He's
always.
like,
always.
Hey, what time do you get off today? By the way, Kurt's used to getting those texts from me. Say, hey, what are you doing today? Are you busy?
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, Kim, and this is maybe why this could or couldn't happen. Kim said weekly segments with TJ, but your time is very valuable, and there's a lot of people who look to you.
I want to do that, and that's part of the reason of getting in a managing editor is so that I can release myself, from doing a lot of that. As I always tell folks, if you see my fat butt out on a scene, we got problems from that. I mean, I've been doing this a while here, but this, my focus needs to be kind of growing the company, and we've gotten to a point that we're, folks, our audience is taking us where we're going. And my original plan of what we were going to do for this is nowhere near what we are right now. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's so much beyond what I thought we were going to be at some point, and because our audience took us there, and I believe that when I do reporting, that it's your sources that take you there. It's your audience that takes you there. It's the same for us for our growth, where we're headed and what we're adding and everything else is based on what our audience wants.
One of the things that we've seen, is, and we get questioned all the time because we're not a traditional radio station either. We're not. Right. We have the FM radio station, but I feel like we are an FM radio station with a social media following.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I-45 now is you're a news station with a social media following. And we get attacked all the time that says, why are you doing that on Facebook? And, and we've seen that Facebook works for us and it works for you.
I goes to the first time I sat down with you guys, what I tell folks is that, I came up with traditional media. My family owned newspapers and radio stations and a cable system. And that was traditional media. It came up that way, and it was like, okay, you bought your newspaper, you turned on your radio, you turned on your TV. That's how you got content. And particularly since I worked, a lot in television and newspaper, your news was at 11, 6, 5, 6, and 10. So you told folks, all right, at 11, 5, 6, and 10, you can come get your news. Come to us to get your news. Doesn't matter what you're doing in your life. You want your news, you got to come to us. And the newspaper, if you want your news, put your quarter in or 50 cents or $1, whatever the cost is.
We'll hit your door.
Or we'll throw it you, throw it in your yard. And that's how you go, come grab us to get it. Now, when I was going to start I-45 now, by the way, it was going to be a website and was like, come get your news from us. And I say this all and over again. If it had not been for the accident where I crushed both my legs and I'm laid up in the hospital, that probably would have been what we've done. It would have failed. Because my only contact with the world was through social media while I was laid up in the hospital for 3 months.
Wow.
And I'm like, wait a second.
It's 2017?
Yeah, 2016.
16, okay.
So there was 2 things going on, general stuff, and then also the presidential election was going on. So, I mean, there's just the whole world was just all on social media. But I was like, wait a second. This is where people are getting their information from. Now, you said earlier, I get my information from Facebook. Technically, you're not getting it from Facebook. You're getting it from other people who put it on Facebook.
Correct.
It's just a platform. It's no different than the town crier. You hear you with the bell. And then staples up the whatever it is to the billboard outside of town, and you come and read it. That's what Facebook is. That's the wall on the Facebook wall, and it's just a delivery platform. And that's going to morph and go a different way at some point. So you always have to be looking kind of the next way to deliver stuff.
So here's my question, and you connect a lot with the TV stations in Houston, and we've looked at other radio stations in the community as well. Nobody's doing it like this, and they're still they're still oblivious to it, and we're like, this works.
I think it's because it's multiple people's decisions, and like for you, hey, it's your call, and you can make that decision, and then you've grown it.
No, you're right about it. I liken it to this: is that when you have a business model and you've been doing that business model for 100 years, it's really hard to turn that ship another direction because you know what this model does. You don't know what the other does. One of the reasons I left the Daily News was because I wanted to push something like this. I'm considered one of the old guard in the business, and as I was seeing the audience move this direction and media move for the camera purposes to my right, and then the audience go one way and the industry go another way, I'm like, whoa, hang on for a second. Now, it goes into one of my pet peeves when people say, well, newspapers are dying. The platform of print may be dying. The content is not. And that's the thing. Focus on content, the audience will come. And it's the whole you build it, we will come.
Yeah.
thing.
I saw that I saw the bit of the article. I didn't hear, but I think it was on 740 to interview.
Yeah,
you mentioned
KHEA,
the Facts, the Daily News, and some other
there are folks that are doing it right. I mean, folks, their political philosophies aside, I'm not interested in that in this discussion. It's about business model. The Daily News, Southern Newspapers, which is the parent company for the Galveston County Daily News, is growing. Yes, maybe overall circulation is lower than it was before, but what people are ignoring is, that's that name product of the Galveston County Daily News, but they also do Coast Magazine. They also do the Connection newspaper out there. They do other publications for folks in the community. That's still content, and that's information getting out. It's just done differently. Then they have the digital side of things as well. And so it's the content's getting out there. And it's frustrating because folks will want to talk about, they think they know that business. And I always tell folks when I was told, well, the newspaper business is dying, and this is why. And I said, what industry are you in? They tell me, your industry is dying too. What? No, it's not. We're doing great. I said, no, your sales are this year. You know what? 5 years ago, they were 40% higher. If you lost 40% market share in a couple of years, you consider that a failure, don't you? Oh, no, the market's changed. I said,
exactly.
That's my argument.
Yeah.
Content is always, people are always going to want content. From the time Moses came down with the tablets, people want content. I mean, that's the example I use. I know I'm saying this in a church. I don't want to be blasphemous or anything, but it's true. People want to know information. That was information.
They were waiting for him.
They were waiting for it. That was content. They want the content. That's what I think. That's the only part of my industry I really get frustrated with. Is we don't focus so much on the content. We sometimes just focus on the ratings or our circulation or stuff. And those are important because those are how you sell and everything else. And that's what generates the revenue. And you can't do this for free.
I think the interaction part is very valuable too. So for you, being able to respond back. So if somebody has a question about a news story, they can immediately respond. On the news,
I love that.
KTRK, KHOU, they can't do that. With us, they can do that. And we've tried to share that with other people that we consider friends who are doing similar things. And that's so important.
That's what makes
it's not a secret.
Right now, we have like Larry Walker just tuned in and said, "Hello guys, tell TJ hello for me."
Coach.
Hey Larry.
How
you doing, Coach?
We already
Man, I
have
haven't talked to Larry in a long time.
I said, "Good morning. We want to talk to you soon." And
replying right back. We're giving that interaction. And see, that's the one piece for like KHOU, right? Like they go live. They use Facebook sometimes. But when you tune in, the person like the weatherman, when they're talking about the weather, isn't like reading along with the comments. Although, he's doing traditional stuff.
I should point out, though, is that that's also changing, though, on those elements.
Really?
When you see those midday Facebook Lives with weather, David Paul, KHU, speaking of which, does a good job with this. He'll come on and he'll be talking about, okay, here's the weather we got coming today. It's going to be kind of severe thing. Brooks Garner, who's also at Channel 11, they'll answer questions. Not all of them, but they'll see some of this. Oh, hey, that's relevant. Let me interact and tell you. Now, they don't necessarily type it in, but they're saying it while they're doing their live.
That's good, because for the longest time, you don't see that.
Right. And when we go live, I do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
I can't, obviously, if I'm doing a live and drive, I'm not gonna, because
of course
people think I'm holding up our phone, and they think I'm driving down the road going like this. No, I've got a mount and I'm hands free the whole time. And,
yes,
but I will see the comments because I can look right here and I see it and I'll say, "Hey Joanne, yes, this is what we're doing," or "This is what we're doing," and I will come and repeat the question. Say, for those that didn't see the question, here's Joanne asked this question. Here's what it is, and then I make it part of the pattern of reporting. Because hey, if we have a viewer ask a question. That's relevant. I mean, we get a lot of stupid ones too, and like, hey,
okay, we'll stop asking questions from KHEA.
No,
I'm just kidding. Sometimes
y'all never ask any questions. Y'all do silly stuff. Like,
it's usually like, hey, your check engine light is on, Kurt.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Come on.
Okay, that was me.
Come on, Gardy.
It was on, and I'm concerned.
Although
I do get
I do get the most of the comments about you, because a lot of times I'm in our F-150. Then I'm out in my vehicle doing that, and my windshield will be a little dirty. Someone will say, "Hey, clean that windshield." I actually had a guy reach out and say, "By the way, we got this great product. If you put it on your windshield," he's offering to give it to us for free.
Oh, I need to start doing that inside of every time you go live. Have you noticed that? Probably you haven't noticed this, but in the talk groups now, people will ask for like, "Hey, I need a roofer," or "Hey, I need someone to come clean out this ditch," and I'll be like, "Hey, KHEA, we got some interns.
We'll try."
Or, "Hey, we've never done roofing before, but we'll give it a shot."
Yeah, we'll have the intern come do your roof.
And so then they click on it and they're like, "Oh, hey, what's KHEA?"
But that's information too, and that's why we have the other side of us, which is our sponsorships, where we have we vet our sponsors before they come on the air. Got to be okay. If I see your low Business Bureau rating or something like that, I don't care how much money you got, you ain't coming on.
And that's how y'all grow. That's how you are able to expand.
Yeah, I mean that got to pay the staff somehow. I'm the only non-paid member of our staff, and that's how that works. Is that got to pay people somehow, and so we have to do that, and we have to balance it though. But we also do it in such a way it's clearly marked, and and there's certain ethical standards we have on that no fly-by-nighters, because trust me, we get those requests all the time, offering way more money than we charge. But nope, our political ads, you're not allowed to attack your opponents in our political ads. That upsets some people.
I saw something. I guess it was one of the local elections in League City or this past cycle. I don't know, where you were offering to do one for everybody.
And we do that in most cases. We were just too short-handed to really turn it around, but we want to be able to make it happen. It's okay when you file, you get to, just put a camera on yourself, 30 seconds to a minute, talk about your campaign. You can't say anything negative, no graphics or anything, and we'll put it up.
Wow.
We'll do that for the primaries next year as well. The election in November, we're going to try something a little bit different. We're working with the guys down at Ball High School. Mike Dudas has the class down there. And since it's not going to be a busy election in November, we're going to try doing our election central from there. And we're going to ask all anyone who's declared at that time or filed to run in the primaries in next spring, to that come on in. We'll just start talking about the county elections or the state elections or congressional elections early. As long as you have filed or formally declared, then we're going to ask, hey, come on up. You get a couple minutes with us. Tell us about your campaign, and we'll get that discussion going early on what's going to be a pretty boring November election this year.
Right now, it is 9:34. This is KHEA.radio.com, 99.5 FM. This is Kickstart. We're going to be on till 11. I'm talking to TJ with I-45 now. Here's a comment. This is from Andrea. She said, I love that TJ stays neutral on politics. And that's the case with I-45 now. You can't pick a side in the news.
You can't. And we also, it works differently. Like in a newspaper, I believe a good newspaper needs to have a good opinion section. And that includes editorials and endorsements and everything else like that. I'm not opposed to those. An electronic medium, it doesn't work as well. And my thing is, I've got to work with anyone who wins an election and with people who lose an election afterwards to get information from to do my job. So sometimes people take it a little personal. I myself don't ever take politics. I'm weird. This is something I learned from my father. I can understand both sides of an argument simultaneously. Mm-hmm. And what I believe personally just doesn't matter. I really don't think it does matter. I mean, it's my job is I have a wider audience to take care of. Here's the information. That's why our political coverage isn't we don't do the play-by-play of stories. We don't get into the whole, this mailer's out there and no. We do the forums. We ask the questions. You hear our questions. You hear the answer. Boom. There it is.
Yeah.
And you can kind of make your own decision from that.
That's what democracy is a two-part process. The candidates who are running and the voters. It is not up to us to tell the voters what to do. It is up to the voters to figure out what they're going to do. And there is a responsibility. They need to know how to vote. They need to know what the rules are. They need to know who the candidates are.
Do you personally vote?
Yeah. Now, it used to be kind of an interesting thing kind of about showing the bias and stuff. I used to not vote in primaries because, true story, many years ago, I voted in one of the party primaries here because there wasn't going to be there was one specific race that was going on that was going to be decided in the primary. There was going to be no November challenger. So I went for the sole purpose of voting in that particular election because it was where I lived and went and voted that election. Well, obviously I knew going in, but it popped out. The end of the day, the political party chairman get the list of who all voted in each other's primaries. So the Democratic Party chairman sees who voted in Democrat and Republican and vice versa. And one of the party chairmen just chewed me out. You biased, you really, and I'm like going, whoa, hang on for a second. I went and voted in this one particular election. I didn't vote on anything else in the primary. I said, but I did that. And that was, my dad used to have the same philosophy for the longest time. And my dad's a media guy, so, I got this from him. But after a while, things really started shifting. There was going to be no contested races come November. So if I wanted to have my personal vote, and it's really disingenuous of me to say, hey, go vote, and then I don't go vote myself. So I started voting in the primaries where I thought the biggest difference, where most of the candidates are going to be, which in this case in Galveston County is Republican primary now. That doesn't mean I'm a die-in-the-wool, despite what you say when you vote, you say, I'm a Republican for a year. Well, really, I'm not. But, and I voted in the Democratic primary one time too, because I said, okay, here's a candidate running for Congress, and I want to, he's the only contested race. I want to have a say in that, and that's a personal choice. None of that matters to me when I sit down with the candidates. As I say, I like listening to folks discuss things and debate things. That's why I like our forums. If anyone's watched any of our forums of how I do this, I'll ask a question, and then I'll ask a follow-up based on the answers. And if one side says something, and I say, well, hang on, let's talk about that a little bit. Really explore it.
The KHEA one was
you were there.
Intense.
It was.
It went back and forth probably 5 or 6 times. You're like, please stop saying stuff about each other, because then I have to ask the other person.
Yeah. And right.
You're like, but I think it wasn't like that blunt, but it was like, please don't say anything about the other candidate.
Well, it was the closing statements. Which
Yeah.
I don't care what you're doing, but the closing statements don't do that because I have to come back to be fair.
Right, yeah.
But I think there's nothing wrong as long as you don't get too out of bounds with those things. But as I explain to people the format is I'm going to ask questions. You're going to hear the candidates' answers. It's up to you to decide whether you like them or not, no matter what the room is and stuff. And I took some flack that night because people didn't think there were certain questions I asked
they
that were
came
relevant.
after you after, and I was
Right.
like, do
And
I need to go into like bodyguard mode and
No,
protect
I'm used to
TJ?
it. But at the same time, it's important that I listen to those folks too because I may have missed something.
Right.
In conflict, I learn more out of conflict than I do out of people, blowing flowers up toward me. Those type of things. I was about to say something really bad, but but it is a way of I get some information out of it, but at the same time, I'm going to defend what I did because I can't go back change it anyway. I will acknowledge, oh yeah, maybe I should have done that. Sorry, But in that case, the questions were relevant because people got so fired up. The white elephant in the room was, okay, what's the one thing, what is it about? I think the question is, the white elephant in the room was during the KHEA race for mayor, particularly, was the Carl Joyner versus Matt Wiggins fight. Okay, a councilman versus the mayor. And I had people afterwards saying, that wasn't a relevant question. I said, are you kidding me? That's what this entire election is about. It is what everyone is talking about. There are two sides here. They're taking sides. Those sides have already decided. It's everyone else who hadn't decided, hey, what's the truth and what's not the truth? Or what do I think of this side's version of this? That was dominating the entire, not only the election, it was dominating council meetings. It was dominating every decision was being made in the city at the time. And whether you think one side was right or one side was wrong is not up for me to decide. It is up to me to say, okay, talk about that, defend your position. Talk about that, explain your position, and gave both sides. And an interesting thing about that, that was on a Monday night. That Friday before, 3 of the 4 candidates all called and pulled out of that forum. I had to talk them off the ledge. I mean, seriously, one of the candidates didn't know me well. And so I understood the concern, like, well, you're friends with the so-and-so. Well, I'm friendly with everybody, and, for the most part. That doesn't mean I'm friends. I don't go hanging out with this person. I don't do anything else with them. I would, and so I had to talk to them all and convince them, listen, here's what the format is. Here's what I do. I don't allow anyone to influence what I ask. My personal thoughts don't matter here. And even, that person's opponent, who was the incumbent, also was going to pull out because that person was worried about, that the room was going to be stacked. I said, what do you care if the room has so many supporters? You can put as many of your supporters in the room too. My audience is sitting there. You want to lose my audience to this? Well, I'm just tired of personal attacks. I said, I'll get you. And if it gets out of hand, I'll say something about it. But the audience doesn't get to control the questions. I control the questions. So that's how it works. And got everyone involved. And I think for the most part, everyone said, oh, yeah, that was very informative. And I think in some parts it had influence on a lot of decisions that were made in that election, good or bad. I'm not saying, that was it. But I think you got to see it. You got to hear it. And you didn't have me saying, this is who you should vote for. And you didn't have me saying, well, here's what this fight's about and, making more of a combative thing.
How do we get more people involved, on this local level of politics? Because everything that I see, and I don't know if this is true, and you'll be able to help me out with this, like voter turnout. It's not good at times, especially for our area.
Almost all the time.
How many voted for the KHEA mayor? It was like, what, 400 something?
Well, but understand, too, the population in KHEA is
pretty small, huh?
Is not, and you got to talk about eligible voters versus registered voters and everything else. It's still not good. I mean, right. I wish everybody would show up and be 90% turnout. It's never going to be. And one of the things, particularly in local elections, and it's frustrating, the voter apathy is so real. I mean, everyone will show up and vote for president. Mm-hmm. Social media, they'll argue over presidential stuff. Quite frankly, what affects your pocketbook? School board elections, city council elections.
People don't
those
show up.
affect your pocketbook way more than the other stuff. State rep, those affect you way more than anything else. And I can only do my part. We do the forums. We encourage people to vote. We cover the elections. That's it. There's an audience for it. But I think too, people have got to understand that what it also sends. Not voting also sends a message to candidates. You're not doing enough to encourage folks to vote. And that's why we've taken the policy of no attack ads when you have political advertising on our platform, is that you can't attack your opponent, because I want to take that element out, because I think it does drive people away. I do think media coverage of treating it like a football game of here's the latest fight here. There's some analysis I think you've got to, as a print mainly more than anything else, needs to cover. But I think making it available for folks just to be able to, to hear the questions, hear the answers, and go from there is more important. Some people like the sensational side, though. So
that's probably been one of our biggest, being a news guy, and Gardy, I guess, not being, didn't study it, didn't participate in it, but, comes at it from a
Keep
different...
going. Can you say,
sorry.
I didn't, what else did I have? I not
No. But, his thing is, well, it does well because it's sensationalism. And I've had professors in school. I actually interviewed, his name was Alan. Oh, man, he's a former, I can't think of his last name. He ran against Obama, and he came to Hastings and spoke at an abortion event and was like, Obama this, Obama that. And we recorded it and put it out there, and it went nuts. It crashed our website. And my instructor was like, that's not really, this is not good on you. This is just sensationalism, and you got to be there in that moment. But I think news is more than sensationalism.
Yeah, and
it is more, but sometimes it is sensationalism.
But sometimes too, you just got to put it out there and let the audience decide.
Yeah.
If somebody is and it's tough too. It's okay, is this the real? In that case, is that a real candidate, or are you just running it for the sake of running it? And it's hard because people from one side or the other. I've turned down, for example, they said, "Well, I want you to cover this, make a debate on this thing." I said, "Well, yeah, nah. The incumbent's going to have 80% of the vote. Why am I bothering with that?" They go, "Oh, no, that's not true." And I said, "Listen, I'm just telling you it is true, and I'm honest about that." I mean, there are certain times I will turn down as doing a forum, and it's that's just all that's going to do is give this other person a platform. I understand they want to get out there and get their view out, but just because they don't have the time to campaign like this person, that again, that's that two-part system. It's you got to go out and get the votes too. If I'm going to do a forum, I want it to be able to make an actual decision for the voters. That's why, for example, if you're unopposed, you're not part of our forums. Why am I going to ask a question to someone who's won the election already? What all that does is waste air. And I've had situations in which someone said, "Whoa, I want to be part of the forum." Why? And mainly it's because in the contested race they're supporting somebody and they want to help that person out. So
right now it's 9:47. There's a lot that y'all do in the community, and I know there are plans and of expansion. With I-45 now, with you trying to bring in more quality individuals, to come in and help grow I-45 now. Can we talk a bit about, I guess, the growth?
Thanks, I appreciate that. Yeah, because what we're finding is that I-45 now is hyper local. It's essentially it's Clear Creek south for the most part. I mean, stuff along the NASA Road 1 communities are part of that too. But our primary kind of coverage area is that, and it's called I-45 now because that's the main back spine of that. We hope our next thing, this is the first time I announce it, is this summer we'll be launching NASA 1 now.
This summer?
Yeah. July 20th, we will launch NASA 1 now.
NASA 1 now. Is the page already, can I be the first to like it, or the second, or the third?
No, it's not public yet.
Okay.
There's a goofy looking version of the logo up there.
Awesome.
We're working on it. But that's going to be hyper coverage of that NASA Johnson Space Center communities, Nassau Bay, Webster, Seabrook, up and down the NASA 1 corridor. And July 20th is a significant date to launch that. If anyone knows their history of 50 years ago.
We talked about this before. We were like, TJ's going to come in here and he's going to say a bunch of things. He goes, remember?
And we're just going to say like, we remember.
Yeah, we remember that.
What happened
you're
50
not
years
going to
ago?
remember it 50 years ago.
No.
Neither one of y'all is old enough. I'm barely old enough to remember it from 50 years ago. So it is the 50th anniversary of the Apollo 11 moon landing.
Okay.
A lot of celebrations are going to be happening in this area. And what better time to launch something called NASA One Now than July 20th, the actual anniversary of Neil Armstrong and my buddy Buzz Aldrin landing on the moon. So I'm a space geek too, and it's not going to be about covering space. I mean, that's going to be part of it. But
right,
Nassau Bay, city of Nassau Bay, where I actually physically live now. I lived in League City for a while and found a place up in Nassau Bay. It's where I live now. We actually handle Nassau Bay TV for them. Our production arm does. And so we have content from there, and we have content from Webster and Seabrook, and we're going to hire staff for that area. It's going to start slow, just like we did with I-45 now. And then when we have the breaking news content that's relevant to both communities, it'll go both platforms. And so we have that. And then we hope sometime this summer as well to launch Justice Center now, which is going to be our version of Court TV for the local area.
Awesome.
Hey, one thing you said, a self-proclaimed space geek, right?
Yeah.
So there's a show launching tonight called Unidentified, and there's a band that I grew up watching or listening to, Blink-182, and Tom DeLonge. He is obsessed with UFOs.
Yeah.
And apparently he got his own show. It's launching tonight on the History Channel, Unidentified. I'm going to have them put it on a Bayshore Grill or something.
No, because then you're going to be paying attention to that instead of announcing the winner. You're going to be like,
the winner
is
Tom DeLonge, you win the cruise.
There's UFOs? And it's like...
So I just thought it was interesting that this guy got his own TV show on History about
Yeah, but
UFOs.
if you read the stuff he writes, I mean,
I
he's
have.
actually really knowledgeable
I know.
about the subject, and he's just fascinated by it. I find UFOs fascinating. The New York Times just had a piece this past weekend with a bunch of Air Force pilots. All right, it's not like we're talking about crazy people out in the middle of a desert in New Mexico. We're talking about Air Force pilots who said, hey, what the heck is that?
Yeah.
Hey, this thing is doing this thing is doing that. Now,
They don't call it Miss Universe for nothing. They're getting it ready for the aliens to be involved.
Yeah, but I find it fascinating because there are those unexplained things out there. There are the government secrets, and people to this day are so fascinated by Area 51. I'm one of those who, when I on a trip to Vegas many years ago, took the drive out to Area 51. As close as I could get. I got as far as the fence.
Anything weird happen?
No,
Just normal, huh?
yeah. I was out there in the middle of the night with these guys that that I paid $50 to go with. And,
Yeah.
Was
they
Will
promised
Smith?
me.
Will Smith was around.
I was ready
right?
for Will Smith to come in like Independence Day.
They're making
And-
another Men in Black. Hey, here's a question, and this is pretty cool. So it goes back to the growth that's happening at I-45 now. So this is from Rudy. So good morning, Rudy. He said, Court TV, can we get more details?
Oh, Rudy Martinez? Is that who it is?
No, Rudy. Little Salt.
Little Sal's
Little
talk-
Sal's.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is a concept that I've been thinking about actually earlier before everything else. What we're calling right now, we're calling it Justice Center now. I don't know if I'm going to stick with that name or not. However, there's a lot that happens that does affect our lives that comes out of our court system. We're going to start in Galveston County and kind of go from there. Whether it's a civil trial or a criminal trial,
The Scranton Strangler, like
From The Office,
those,
of course, yeah.
yeah, those
not
not just the sensation. There's everyday kind of stuff that people are kind of interested in, but we wanted to bring the I-45 Now approach to that, and so it means interviewing folks, getting the records up when there's probable cause affidavits. What happens is, we're a smaller staff, and so to get a lot of the documents, you actually have to be in the building to figure it out. So. I'm meeting with someone today to kind of get that going. We have some folks that really want to support that, and it's going to start small, like everything else. You walk before you run, and at this point we're in the crawling stage. But we hope to get but it'll cross over in that if there's whether it's the some of the bigger cases that we're covering around this area that we covered maybe the breaking news on, that this will be the follow-up. And then when it's there, it'll also post to I-45 Now so folks can keep track of it. Cool. There's some interesting cases that come out of there. There's some funny things, too. I mean, just some weird, I tell folks one of the funniest stories, I say funniest, one of the stories I got the most attention on ever in my career was a custody battle over a Chihuahua named Noonie that went to court. It was in a JP court. Daryl Apfel, current county commissioner, he was the judge that presided over this case. And technically, while we called it a custody battle, it was a property battle because the state of Texas, a dog is considered property and not a family member, obviously. And so it was between a mom and a daughter.
Oh my goodness! Not even a husband and a wife.
Yeah, mom and daughter. Okay, and
my mom keeps trying to give me the cat, and I'm just like, no, you have no, just keep it. And she's like, no, I'm taking you to court. You have to take your cat.
Parental responsibility or something.
Can I cover that?
But it was, in any case, what it was is that so there's this it was in small claims court, and one of the I don't remember who sued who at first because they all got involved, and so I showed up at JP court, which is normally that's traffic tickets and evictions. I mean but it was the story when I got the phone call from the mom all upset that about it, but it goes to that 99-cent story. It's sensational in some part, but it goes to what everyone can relate to: fights among family. And now this, what normally is just a yelling match inside the living room, is now flowed into a public spectacle.
People love their pets too.
Yeah. Oh, trust me. I mean, my 4 dogs. I mean, I'd take someone to court if they tried to take them. I mean, in a heartbeat. Mm-hmm. As goofy as they are and everything else, but But as I say, I did that story, and I mean that sucker got national attention. And my initial story was 400 words long. I won an award for it too. I mean, it was one of those things.
I'm gonna flip the table. We don't get any awards.
Have you ever thought about doing like a best of I-45 Now?
Can we? Yeah, we talked about doing that for the end of the year. God, that takes a lot of effort. It takes. You need to like at the end of the month and say what were our top stories this month. Okay, let's put them over, file them over here. And then no one ever does that. When awards come around, and in the newspaper business, it was this way too. When and then TV, when we get ready for the Emmy Awards and nominations and stuff like that. I mean, here's the deadline. It's a week from now. I mean, we're in the business of meeting deadlines all the time, but we screw those up all the time. And there's not one.
We never get awards.
There's not one awards group that never extends their deadline because none of us in the business can meet our deadlines.
That's funny.
Yeah.
We just want to win one award. As KHEA Radio, we deserve something.
Let's see.
They won't even, okay, so...
He's like, let's see, we'll have to break this
The
down.
Daily News won't even give a best of best radio. They don't even have that as a category.
And we've been writing in.
And we're the only FM radio station in Galveston County.
Well, yeah, but,
we get it by default.
Okay, but this goes, hang on for a second. This goes to what I was telling you earlier. I'm not going to have a forum with an uncontested race. Why should they do that?
Because we deserve something.
Well, at least give us a piece of paper that says that.
Just because we're the best and only.
All right, here we go. Oh, that's what you meant by best of. I'm sorry.
Well, the other one is, I like that too. The best stories of.
Matter of fact, because Galveston.com, I didn't even know we were in the running until all of a sudden someone sent me the thing that we were named the best social media news site or something like that. It was great. I mean, Jim and Lee, who run Galveston.com, they've been doing that best of Galveston for a while, and I thought, that's pretty cool. It was between us and the saltwater recon guys. And I don't know if anyone knows what saltwater recon is. These guys have cameras all in the water, all up and down. But if you're going to go fishing, you want to see what the conditions are. We're going to go fishing, and these guys have their cameras at all the best fishing spots across the way. And I love their site. I go in there to look at the cameras too. And every once in a while, there's something happening in the area, and we'll just, hey, can we use your camera? And say, yeah,
That's
go
cool.
ahead, and we'll do that. And we beat them out, so I was real happy.
Hey, one more thing before we have to sew this up right now. I just want to say that Maisie goes to the University of Texas. And
whoa!
Why are you sitting across the room from me? Class of '89.
Did you get scared? Did you see?
Yeah, Curt.
Yeah.
I'm a Husker, so when you have to force a Big 12 crew to add a second back onto the clock, So that you can win a Big
That
12
ball was
championship.
out of bounds.
Oh, 1 second, huh?
Have you ever thought about utilizing interns? Because with the growth that's happening, if there's a way to work it in.
Well, the tough thing with us is we don't. Folks may not realize we don't have an office. So there's not like a place for an intern to come hang out. And get coffee like Maisie was doing right there. Maisie
Yeah, that's
And bringing us
when I was at
donuts
UT.
in the morning.
She did bring us donuts.
Yeah.
Oh, she's the best.
Yeah. See, yeah. When I interned, when I was at UT, I did the same thing. But we've talked about it. The tough thing is that nowadays, it's like, okay, we don't know where we're going to be from 1 minute to the other. We need to get ourselves a little more formalized and organized about doing that. Because I love training young folks how to do this industry. I love that. That was one of my thrills of when I was with Southern Newspapers was I got to go and find our young journalists and say, okay, kind of, and to this day, I still reach out to folks I think had good talent and say, hey, I'm kind of watching you, and anytime, and I'll give them unsolicited advice and see how it goes from there.
Is there anything else you'd like to share?
What time are we doing the cruise giveaway tonight?
7 o'clock, live from Bayshore Grill.
It's going to be awesome.
So if you are free, come out to Bayshore Grill, 7 o'clock tonight. We'll make the announcement live on Facebook if you can't make it out there. We're super excited. It's kind of like an end of an era for KHEA radio.
Well, I appreciate you talk about guys that started off with something and grown it into something. I mean, I appreciate you guys. Trust me, it's like the first time I was asked to be on the show, I said, the who? And I said, I was kind of watching it. So who are these guys? And, and I said, and they said, yeah. And they were, and and I said, you mean the guy has the taco hanging from his microphone? That was the one thing every time I looked at it, there's a taco hanging from his microphone, which I'm now obsessed with, the taco thing. I like that. Joe Perez, who I know is a big supporter of the show too, and folks that kind of go on their own and take a niche and go with it. We need this type of thing in our market. With y'all's show and getting out in the community and highlighting the community, we need stuff like what we do. There's plenty of room for all of us, and I think it's our audience deserves it, and I appreciate the partnership. I know we do a lot of cross promoting of each other's stuff, and I really appreciate that because the Shine on Lamarcks are run on our platform as well.
Yes,
that are really good.
We're shooting another one today.
Yeah, Snow King is next.
Oh, the legendary Snow King.
Yes. Yeah, we were gonna shoot it yesterday, but then it downpoured, and we're like, nah,
it kind of ruins the snow cone if it's
wet. TJ, we need to have you back in.
Yeah,
for sure. I know you're super busy.
No, I'd love it.
But if we can do
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday next week would be good, and then
yeah, that'd be great. Just plan on it.
Just call you from the road.
There you go.
Hey, I'm on my way here.
We can do our new board allows phone calls, so it's pretty awesome.
Technology.
It's Bluetooth and everything, so it just connects to your phone. It's pretty great.
We're gonna take quick breaks. KHEA Radio, 99.5 FM. We'll come back. We'll be talking to a reality wrestling superstar. This is Kickstart. Hey, we'll see y'all tonight. Don't forget Bayshore Grill, 7 o'clock tonight.
Perfect.
Thank you, TJ.
Guys. Thank you.
TJ he's his own camera crew. Rudy said, does TJ have a camera crew? Andrea also said interns can sit in the truck until you need them.
My name's Gardy.
Yeah.
I did that with my dog Bucky one day.
That'd be awesome.
That's the problem. The intern's got to sit next to Bucky the whole time. On a Saturday, I took him out with me. That's my Australian cattle dog, and he likes to go out on the scenes with me. And every once in a while, I don't take him to bed. But like I'm going around town, he just sits in the truck, kind of looks over things. So the intern get all the dog hair all over him or her. So.
Get the intern dog hair. Awesome. Hey guys, we're gonna be talking to Reality of Wrestling next. Thanks, TJ.
TJ's gonna get his stuff, and
We got you covered on Tuesday, by the way.
Awesome, thank you. I appreciate that project. We're filming today at noon in Lamarck.
Good.
Oh, we are filming at noon in Lamarck today. We're doing a lot of stuff with the city. We're excited, but we're gonna keep it going.
All I know is that my fishing's getting better now with the last two shine-ons. The fishing light and the lures, I'm all set.
Get the underwater green fishing lights.
Yeah.
Head over to Serious Tackle, and then you're good to go. So, do you want some coffee?
No, I don't.
You good? Drink the coffee. No, I'm just kidding. So how long have you been wrestling?
I've been wrestling,
I'd say about 14 years.
14 years. Because Reality of Wrestling, they've been doing some really cool things, like in Houston, and then, moving down here to Texas City. And Booker T's a legend. Obviously, he just got inducted to the Hall of Fame
Twice.
2 times, which is stinking amazing. Is that where did you start training with him? Or did you
No, I actually started training in Atlanta.
In Atlanta? Is that where you're from?
No, I'm from East Texas. I moved to Atlanta for wrestling.
Wow.
And I was up there for about 4 years before I came back.
What was the promotion there? Or the name of the school?
Well, the name of the school, it was WWA 4. That's what it was called. And it was it was just a school, and the reason I moved out there because they offered like training throughout the week instead of just like a couple of days, which most schools did down here. And it was just a place where I was gonna go and do it like full time training all the time.
Yeah,
and that's what it was.
So when did you get hooked up with Reality of Wrestling, or was it called what it was before?
It was called PWA back when Booker first opened it. I think he first opened it like in 2005.
Mm-hmm.
And 2005 is actually when I moved to Atlanta, so it wasn't even open yet.
Wow.
But
was he wrestling like in Reality Wrestling back then, or was he? It was just his promotion. Was he still?
No. Well, when it was PWA, it was always his promotion. Every now and then he would do
get in the ring.
Yeah, just to kind of bring that extra people in. But it was really just about to have those guys.
He looks really familiar. There's this like group of guys who are usually wrestling at Reality of Wrestling. They're really super annoying. It's called like La Familia or something like that. I hate those guys.
I don't know them.
La Familia.
We all look the same.
Didn't you
Just
guys
look similar.
Didn't you guys get destroyed by Will Allday in the a couple months ago? The whole team, it was Will versus like 8 of y'all. No,
I don't know who this Will Allday is.
Oh, I'm just saying. Not that. I'm probably. It's weird. Like Will's weird for me. Will's weird for me because some days I like Will and then some days I don't. And
You're like that with everybody, even me though. Interns, probably yourself, your family. It doesn't matter.
Wait, don't you have someone who's usually by you ringside always? Where's she at today? Am I thinking of the right person?
Yeah,
Yes.
you are.
Where
He's
is
like,
she?
yeah, that's me.
She's not here. She's doing civilian stuff today, so.
Cool. So you've been wrestling 14 years.
14, yeah.
And how long has La Familia? You're the leader of La Familia, it seems, right?
Well, I always like to say I'm the chosen spokesperson for La Familia. I don't like to call us.
I'm gonna call you the leader. You say this, but whenever you walk out, I feel like you're the one that's in charge. And that's not something that you just pick. It's just something that you are. You know what I mean?
Right,
like people
right.
are drawn to you, it seems. And so La Familia, how long has that been around?
Let's see. We started that here. I'd say it's been maybe two or 3 years, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe going on 3 years so far.
Yeah, I saw a match that you wrestled in that was actually for a belt, and to say there was a little bit of controversy might be an understatement. Either way, you beat a really big dude. You beat he's a tall guy, but
right.
I mean, you step into the ring. Sometimes you fight people, your same size, maybe bigger, sometimes smaller. Right. What's your mentality when you step into a ring and you're facing someone who's pretty much a giant?
Well, personally, whenever I'm working against somebody that's that much of a physical specimen. It's a challenge for me, and it's one that I always I accept it with I have confidence in my ability. I mean, I've been doing this for a long time, and that's where you guys don't see that. You guys see the huge guy against maybe me. I might be smaller, but I have 14 years of experience. He has maybe 2 or 3 tops.
Yeah.
And so that's what I must rely on,
Yeah.
strategy.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Yeah, because he's I think they bill him at like 6'7", and but he hasn't been wrestling that long, and you can't make up that experience in 2 years.
Right.
You can learn,
Right.
Cool. We're gonna go on the FM, after this song, and we'll keep talking. But there is an event that's taking place tomorrow. What is that event?
Tomorrow is it's a Dynamo game, but we're going to be doing like a pregame type, I guess like an exhibition.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we maybe had like three matches or so, something like that.
Yeah, and there's some, including yourself, there's some pretty big names that are going to be out there.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Chavo Guerrero is going to be there. Chavo Guerrero Jr.
Mm-hmm.
So he's going to be there, and I believe he's doing the main event against Gino.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's going to be fun.
Are you the first wrestler in your family, or is this something that...
I am.
Okay.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, because I saw Gino shared a video, I think yesterday, from a Facebook memory, and it was like, hey, here's Eddie Guerrero and Chavo Sr.
Gino's father was a wrestler, and he was pretty famous back in his day too. He was he was with AAA, and he did a few characters with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool. I watched almost all of that match that he had shared, but the Guerrero family, I grew up watching wrestling. I'm still a really big fan of wrestling as well, but Eddie Guerrero is one of the best. Still today. You look at his work, and he's one of the best to ever do it.
I mean, absolutely, it's one of the people that I looked up to. Growing up.
Who else did you look up to?
Well, I always try to emulate or look at the ones that I can mostly relate to. Obviously, Eddie, closer to my size, Latino. They're like, all right, man, if this guy can do it, then we have a chance. And then I would look at of course the guys that would headline everything, like guys like The Rock, Triple H, Kurt Angle, those guys, because those are like, man, these guys are just so awesome. But not necessarily. I mean, yeah, they're athletic and everything, but not necessarily. It's just like how they just bring you into their stories and make you feel it without having to do as much as some of the other guys.
Yeah.
I look up to Will all day.
Oh,
I aspire to be Will all day.
Are you related to him or something?
No, but
I see the resemblance.
He got beat by Will's
beat up
mom
by his
one
Will's
day.
mom, and it just knocked sense into me.
He was booing Will, and then Will's mom went behind him and was like, whoop, with the sign, and he was like, I love Will all day. Ever since that, I'm not even joking. This happened last January. He wasn't even wrestling as Will all day. I don't think he had a name. Like he just was like
Will.
Actually, I think I was supposed to. I think I was scheduled to wrestle against Will tomorrow, but I think he checking out or something.
Ooh, did he back out? Is he going to be wrestling at the event?
I don't know.
If he shows up?
If he shows up.
How does that work? You guys going to be at the Dynamo, right?
Right.
I mean, they're playing soccer. How are you gonna wrestle?
I think people are going to be.
I have no idea. I've never been there. I'm just showing up.
What
man.
if they're playing soccer around you as you're wrestling? Are you going to be concerned?
I've done weirder things than that.
It'd be like,
what's the weirdest place you've ever had to wrestle?
Oh my God! When I was in Atlanta, believe it or not, I used to twice a week. When I first got there, twice a week we had this gig where we would go to a strip club, and in the middle of the strip club was a small ring, like a very short ring, But so they're in between set. Well, not even in between sets. It was just we would go out there at a certain time, and we would wrestle. And while the strippers are doing their thing around us, so it was music going. And we're wrestling, and we're wrestling, and we're wrestling. And
here's how we fix this. Here's how we fix this. You need to come and wrestle in the church service on Sunday morning, just to get saved from all of that.
I would burst into flames just stepping in.
You don't wrestle in the strip club no more. You can come wrestle in the church, and we can bring people in there.
Here's the thing about it. It was so weird to me at first, but then I realized, like, man, this gig pays so much more than all these others. Like, I'm just taking it as paid practice, and I just got with my room because me and my roommate, we just wrestled each other all the time. We're like, all right, we'll just look at this as practicing, and we getting paid really good. So every twice a week, we'll go and make like $70-$80 just to wrestle at a strip club.
Yeah, making money in wrestling is that like realistic? Like if somebody wants to get into wrestling and they're like, hey, I want to make money, I want to get rich, is that realistic dreams?
Absolutely not. It's not, man. I mean, it can be, but you have to have a certain business mindset. From just wrestling starting off, you're not gonna make a whole lot. You're gonna go in the hole. You're gonna go in the negative, because to get proper training isn't cheap, and cheap, like I said, cheap training isn't good. So if you really want to be good at this and you want a chance to make money later on, then yeah, but you have to invest in yourself.
Yeah, basically. I would say training, gear, travel, nutrition, working out.
Yeah, this is a very visual sport. Mm-hmm. So you absolutely need to invest in that. And like I said, training is important, very important. Like probably number one, best training that you could possibly afford, and then the way you're gonna look, your gear, and get a gym membership.
Yeah,
it's always gonna be important.
So how often do you work out?
Okay, I have not been that good over the past few years, but recently I started like getting a lot better into it. A lot of times I would just rather go into a ring. I mean, I always had like pretty good ring shape, and I could last 15,
it's a lot of cardio.
Yeah,
huh?
it is a different type of cardio. It's because you're doing so much more than just like I can't just go and run on an elliptical and be prepared for a match, because you're doing so much more in a match. You're thinking and a lot of compound movements and stuff like that. So that's how you train. You train by actually getting in the ring and just rolling around or whatever, that stuff. I've always, like I said, I've been wrestling for 14 years. Of course, I've lifted weights here and there and all that. But here, just recently, I've really got really serious into it and just doing it all the time. So I go about 4 times a week or so to the train.
I go about 4 times a week too.
To the donut shop on
to
the way
the donut shop.
or have the interns bring it in.
I'll still have a donut every now and then, but then.
Yeah, but you got to at least think about it, in wrestling, because you say it's very visual.
Yeah,
it's visual, and that's important.
Yeah, it's a visual. So I am like my goal is not to look like a bodybuilder. My goal is just to look intimidating when you see me in tight pants.
Yeah,
because it's pretty ridiculous. I'm going out there in tight pants, acting like I'm gonna beat somebody up. I had to at least look the part.
Well, that's what you mentioned earlier. You looked at people that like Eddie Guerrero. And you said, hey, I could relate with him. He's Latino.
Right.
He's not like The Rock, that, but it's relatable. And so for you to be an inspiration to, myself and Curt and to anybody, like a normal person, like, hey, man, he's killing it in there. He's doing awesome. And that's who we like to root for too.
Yeah.
So it's really
Except
fun
for
to see.
JJ Blake.
Do you like JJ?
Nobody likes JJ Blake.
Personally, I love JJ. Professionally, I can't stand.
God, he's so annoying.
He's the best at it.
Oh my gosh. We didn't know this, and this is where I got beat up by Will's mom. I was a JJ Blake fan.
He was.
I was
man.
cheering JJ Blake, and then I went to go.
Dynamite. I like that.
I went to go give him a high five afterwards, and he looked right at me and just kept walking. I'm like, I'm the only dude cheering for you, and you're gonna not give me a high five. A little kid looks up at me and goes, "That's what you get for rooting for JJ Blake." And I was like,
kicked him in the shin and ran off, and Kurt's like hopping on one foot. Ow.
I'm like, next time I'll just root for Will all day. Or La Familia, but I find them to be annoying too.
I like the accordion.
Right.
The accordion that comes out with La Familia, and that you'll have the video, because not everybody has a video that comes out, but you got the music and the video and then the performance. With the accordion and everything, it's the whole package for an intro, in my opinion.
I just want to run up there and whip that accordion into shreds, but that's me.
Yeah. Okay. So nobody in your family has probably ever picked up an accordion.
Yeah.
No, my
I don't believe
grandpa.
you.
My grandpa did. He had an accordion.
But he probably couldn't play it any good.
Well, not anymore. He was old.
Even when he was young.
And even when he was young, he was good.
Yeah. So I have an accordion that my great grandfather, my great grandfather had, and it's mine. It's at my house now. And for me, I just like it. I cannot.
Oh, okay.
I cannot play it, but I know he could, because I remember him playing it.
Right.
He lived to be 100 years old, and so we would go and visit him. He lived in Mission, Texas, and so we'd drive down to the valley, during the summer and all the time. I just remember it was so far. It was so far as a little kid, but he would play the acoustic guitar, and he had his accordion. And whenever I see that come out with La Familia, I automatically connect with it. I like it. I think it jams, in my opinion.
I'm the one who's running up there though to take it down and be like, stop playing, just wrestle.
Yeah.
Have you ever had anyone run out, on stage or run out?
I have, not here.
You would really punch him. That's what I assumed.
Yeah, I have. Yeah, I'll tell you a funny story. It goes back to the strip club.
No, can we? Oh, I thought we were over that.
No, that hasn't happened here at Booker's.
Okay,
at
good.
Booker's place. But it has happened. It has happened before. It's interesting.
I saw it recently happen. Somebody ran up on Bret Hart.
Yeah.
Did you see that? And then he got
beat
plummeted.
up bad, yeah.
They yanked him out the ring, and they were dragging him out. And then even extra camera angles.
Yeah, that's good. That's that old school mentality. That's how they, if anyone jumps in the ring, you drop what you're doing and you beat the crap out of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, what are you doing?
I got attacked once in a match.
You did?
Yeah, I was wrestling one of my roommates, and so we have this, we're both down, and obviously we're waiting to get up at the right time and go back at the right time.
Yeah.
And so I'm starting to barely get up on my feet, and all of a sudden I get tackled. Of course, I'm thinking it's him, and I'm like, damn, you gotta you jumped the gun there, mid. So I turn around on the floor. I turn around and I look over across the ring, and there's my there's my opponent.
Like, he's over there
on the other side. I'm like, what the hell? So I grab this guy's face and I push it up. And I'm like, oh, who the hell is this? So I just start punching him. And then my roommate gets up, grabs him, gets him off of me. He starts punching him. The ref starts punching him. The other wrestlers that were around the ring get inside the ring and beat the crap out of him. And we beat the crap out of this guy. Man, it seemed like a couple minutes, and then we just throw him out. The bouncers grabbed him and threw his ass outside.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was interesting.
There you go. Hey, so I know there's a match taking place tomorrow. Tomorrow. Do you know what time, like the doors, or what time the bell rings? It's going to be a little bit different than being in the reality of wrestling, the World Gym Arena. This is going to be in Houston, and it's outdoors because the Dynamo Stadium is outdoors.
Right.
And it's a very nice stadium.
Right. We got a time of 6 p.m. here on the flyer. So.
Okay, so 6 p.m.
Yeah, so 6 p.m. We should be getting ready to kick off. Usually we're pretty good on that. So.
Yeah, and then after that.
Right. Yeah. After that is when because of that, I'm not sure exactly where we're going to be at. I imagine we can't be right in the middle of the field. So.
Yeah.
Maybe off to the side somewhere.
I got you.
A little pre-show.
And then the following weekend, there is something really cool taking place right here in Texas City.
Yeah. So we'll be back here at our regular facility at the World Gym Arena.
Okay. So we have about 5 minutes left. Can we talk about, I guess, the inspiration and having Booker here and allowing a place for you to be able to participate and wrestle here, right. Being from Houston, I guess, what does that mean to you?
Man, to me it means a lot because so being able to not only am I performing, but every time I get in the ring, I'm also learning by experience, and then also by Booker, by his feedback and stuff like that. So for me, it's I really couldn't ask for more. I'm really happy that I was able to get to this level where I can perform for someone like Booker, and if I go any further, then that's great. That's just extra for me. But yeah, when I was a kid, I just wanted to be a wrestler.
Yeah,
so.
Because I've seen you, not just in Texas City, but there's
right.
other promotions,
yeah.
Even other states, and
mm-hmm.
they're pretty large promotions that you've had the opportunity to go and wrestle, even like here recently.
Yeah, and those are great. Those are the places like where I can go and just really kind of experiment with different kinds of stuff, see what works with the crowd, what doesn't, what does and stuff like that, and really kind of just working on the craft there. So yeah, I enjoy those shows as well. So,
yeah. So if you could, what's next? Like I know you say like, hey, if it goes to that next level, that's awesome. If not, hey, I just want to wrestle. Yeah,
when I was a kid, I never really had any real. I guess I didn't think about it that much. I just said, hey, I wanted to be a wrestler. I always say that I should have said, hey, I want to be a rich wrestler. No, I enjoy doing this. Obviously, it's not how I make my living, but if I ever had the opportunity to, I would definitely jump all over it. And I think the thing is, like, right now, I try to be prepared and train for it, like in case that opportunity comes, because I don't want an opportunity to come and then I'm not ready.
Yeah.
So I think that's important. So.
I watched a little bit of the match with the AEW with Kylie Ray and Sammy Guevara, right. It was really cool to see some. Well, I know Kylie's not from here, but she has some roots here.
Yeah. She moved from Chicago. I know she started training over there for a little bit, maybe a year or so, a little over a year, and then she decided to come here, and she was here for a while, and this is where she really got learning. Yeah, and I thought they did great. The way the matches went.
Actually, both of them didn't win their match, but right. I thought for that they represented, Texas, Houston, and wrestling right here. I thought that was pretty good.
Yeah.
So
I think it's about the performance, and I think both of them did really good.
Yeah. Curt, what do you think is coming with reality wrestling, especially with our friends over there?
Yeah, they're going to be doing some really cool stuff. It's going to keep growing. I like Booker T. I think they run an awesome event at Reality of Wrestling.
They're packing it out the house.
Oh, packing it out the house.
You know, the Schmodown that they had the other day. We talked to Brad Gilmore about that, and we weren't able to make it because we had a prior engagement, but we were wanting to. I'm hoping they bring it back because I saw a video, and the house was packed.
Yeah, I saw that too. It looked interesting.
Yeah, it's different. It's something that and Brad explained. He's like, they take wrestling, they take they have characters, and it's a movie trivia. And I was like, okay, I like all these things. Yeah. So it seems like it'd be a great time. Is there anything else you'd like to share while you're here right now?
Just invite everyone to come out and check us out tomorrow, the Dynamo game. And if you can't make it, come out here to the World Gym Arena next Saturday.
Cool.
Check us out.
Well, hopefully we can make it. And we love everything that you guys do.
Nothing beats a live event. So trust me.
Mm-hmm. Especially on that, because even I look at the AEW and there's 12,000 people there. You know, there's good seats, and then there's seats that probably aren't as good, but being there. But then to be that close to the ring and get hit with blood and sweat, literally, you can't. It's different. It's exhilarating.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming in here, and thank you guys for putting on a really good show. I really do appreciate everything you guys doing, and we love Reality of Wrestling.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hey, and we'll see you hopefully at that. I don't think we can make tomorrow, but maybe we can come to that one on that Saturday over there. So cool.
See you again. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, if you're still watching on Facebook, feel free to share this video out. Let us know what you got going on. We have some really cool stuff taking place this evening that you are invited to, and it's going to be tonight. We're giving away our cruise, so our cruise giveaway is happening tonight, and that's going to be 7:00 at Bayshore Grill as we have come to the end of an era.
The era of KHEA Radio's cruise giveaway.
But then that'll lead us into a new era.
Oh, man, I cannot wait.
That new era.
What is the next era?
It's to be determined. We're going to have, but it's only going up. It's only going up, I'd imagine, right? Kurt, what if this is like, when we say the end of an era, it's just like, everybody's like, well, we only like KHEA because y'all had the cruise and y'all are talking about it, and then it's like,
I'm anticipating some people are going to be really I'm anticipating maybe a little bit of a drop in our likes tonight. Like people are going to be like, I didn't win the cruise. I have no more reason to listen to K. What if we lost?
Everyone's like, bye. Adios.
What if we lost all 7,000? It was like 7,000 was only here for the cruise, and then it's back down to 100, and we're like, we've wasted an entire year.
We have one like, and it's from Kurt. I even unlike it.
Yeah, it's like one like, and it's like, oh man, you guys are just liking us because we give away cruises? Come on.
We want to still do some positive stuff. We love doing some really cool things in the community and connecting with you with the cool stuff that you do, whether that's your business, your nonprofit, an event that you have going on for fun, or for a charitable cause. Let us know. You can always send us an email, KHEA@KHEAradio.com. You can also send us a message on Facebook. For us, sometimes that is the easiest way to communicate for these things. So that's the best thing you can do. Just hit us up, and we'd love to have you as guests. We get quite a few messages, and we do ask for these messages. People letting us know what they have going on, and then we just trying to juggle the replies, and then also juggling the scheduling. That may be an opportunity for Maisie while she's in Poland to do our schedule.
To do our schedule. I looked at I don't know if you had a chance to look at that scheduling thing that I sent you last night.
I did. I downloaded it.
Cool, right?
Have you done anything with it? Because I made a profile. I didn't think so because I'm in there and I'm like, I see nothing. Also, since you did it from the KHEA radio email, it has you listed as Walter Hallam as the main.
I made sure to put that.
As Walter Hallam?
Yeah.
No, it doesn't need to be Walter Hallam. It needs to be KHEA if that's what it is.
Well, it's KHEA@KHEAradio.com is the email, but the person just put first name KHEA and last name radio.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, you can't put because that's not accurate. That's called fake news, and that's called identity theft. It's illegal, and I'm actually going to call the police right now. And I'm not even calling the non-emergency line. I'm calling 911 so we can get this arrest
taken care of.
Figured out. Take him away.
Take him away.
So we got 9 seconds. We're going to go
on the
FM right now and chat for a bit. So here we go. Good morning. You're listening to KHEA Radio 99.5 FM. This is Kickstart. I'm Gardy.
And I'm Curt.
It's 10:28 a.m. Friday morning. We're excited to be broadcasting live from the campus of Abundant Life Christian Center in beautiful Lamarck, Texas. You know what? Lamarck is my home. Lamarck is where I'm from. Lamarck is where I'm excited to broadcast KHEA radio out of.
Was that a little teaser
Of
something that we aren't allowed, that we have sworn to secrecy to never talk about yet?
It was. There's some really cool stuff that we have going on, including Shine on Lamarck. We're going to be shooting a Shine on Lamarck video today at Snow King. So, hey, come holler at us. Just wait at Snow King.
We will tell you
We'll show
that
up sometime this
part of
afternoon.
that was from an event that's taken place that we're asking people, if you live in the city of Lamarck today, come on out to Highland Bayou Park. We're going to be starting at the Pavilion at noon. So if you have no plans this afternoon and you want to come and bring a Frisbee, bring a kite, bring your dog, bring your Maisie.
Hey, check this out.
You know.
So I've been reaching out to some of these local universities since, I don't know, I was like 18 years old, and I got a response back. And this is from a really cool one, U of H Clear Lake. So here recently, I actually commented on one of their posts today, and I just said hi. And sometimes I'll say that from KHEA because it's good to have interaction, and there's nothing wrong with saying hi. And so I had reached out to them before, be like, hey, we'd love to have you guys on talking about all the opportunities you offer locally, because they are starting to do 9th grade, 10th grade, 11th grade. No, I say 9th. I'm sorry, freshman, sophomore, junior, senior year of college, not just like graduate school. They used to only do those graduate degrees.
Yeah.
Now they're starting at freshman year of college. So they said, hey, thanks for reaching out. We'd love to come and talk to you about the show. What's a good email to the station to discuss the next step? So I'm going to email them back right now. Kurt, what email should I tell them?
KHEA at KHEAradio.com.
I'm excited.
Hey,
I want to do some stuff with U of H Clear Lake. I want to check them out. Maybe we can all go back and get more degrees. That'd be fun. What about you, Maisie?
free degrees?
No, it was hard.
You're working on one right now, right?
Yeah, 2, but you know.
2 at the
Double
same
major?
time?
Yeah. Biochem and public health.
I think TJ was going to offer you a position with I-45 Justice Now, and then you're like, my majors are this and this, and he goes, oh, so it's not
Not
news?
journalism? No.
So, nah, never mind.
Yeah. I was wondering, because interns are a great opportunity for people to learn, on-the-job experience. Interns are a great way for people to get introduced into the market. A lot of jobs, and this has kind of become a meme, it's like, how am I supposed to have 2 years experience whenever I just got out of college? I haven't even graduated. You want me to get an entry-level job with experience? What are your thoughts on that?
I think it's really cool, like, just being back here, that, like, seeing the way everything works and what you guys do. It's really nice seeing, like, the conversations flow, and it's nice. It's giving me something to, like, think about potentially. Like, I have experience in this field. So
Yeah,
it's nice having.
Do you have any suggestions or criticism for us? Is there anything that we could be doing better?
No, I think you guys are wonderful. Maybe it's because it's my second day here, but, so far so great.
Okay. That's encouraging.
It's kind of like we got good things going on.
Would you give us an award?
Yeah?
Hey!
What award would
maybe.
you give us? What award would you give us, Miss Maisie?
Honestly, best interviewers.
Okay.
I really like the way you guys keep the conversation going, but also, like, best radio station, because honestly, it is.
That's nice. Well, thank you. We appreciate that. And you'll get your pay for saying those nice things here in a bit. So, yeah, this is Kickstart. We're going to be on till 11. Right now, it's 10:32. Also, KHEAradio.com. Kurt, let the people know about the KHEA Radio app. What's on there?
Yeah, you can download the KHEA Radio app by going to the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store. And it's a good opportunity for you to stay connected to the community, like the event that's going on today at noon at Highland Bayou Park. We're going to be there filming some stuff for some videos that we have going on.
Are we going to get in the water? Is there going to be a boat out there? I may just swim, dive in with the dog.
I need to figure out how we're going to make this work, because I also don't have, I don't wear a swimming suit. I
also would have wore different shoes. I wore one of my newest pair of shoes, but does it look funny with my my jacket? I took a page out of the
Kurt Casper story.
Yeah, but I also brought some boots because I know we're shooting Shine on Lamarck. So
Okay, good.
They're right here. So
Wear those in the water.
well,
They're
yeah, I know.
waterproof.
This is my only options. I was like, man, I would have wore some old Vans or something, because I like going to the park. I want to play and have fun. Grill. But if we're under that little pavilion, it's nice and concrete there.
This video, it's so hard not to tell people about it. It's so hard. I'm itching on the inside, but I know Colleen is watching and will like fire us if we do.
Okay. That's okay. We're going to take a quick break on the FM. This is KHEA Radio, 99.5 FM.
If you're
Ooh, hey, something that I wanted to mention, and I think I mentioned this yesterday, but
Yeah.
I think after our show next Tuesday, I'm going to sneak over, do a live video that's a like, share, comment to potentially win a couple spots for the summer camp that's happening at Abundant Life Christian School. So it'll take hopefully a couple minutes. But if you haven't had the opportunity to check out Abundant Life Christian School, go check them out. It's a great opportunity for you to test the waters whenever it comes to private education. This summer camp, you're going to be able to meet the staff. You're going to be able to meet some of the teachers that are going to be there as well. You know, you went there, right, Maisie?
Yeah, I really like it. I think I've just had a really good, tight-knit community there. It was really nice. I went to public school and it was nothing compared to a private school. I think just like the private school experience is different and better.
It's like a family thing.
Yeah,
isn't it?
yeah. I like knew everyone. The teachers knew me. I knew them, and it was nice. It made learning fun. It made me like want to go to school.
Yeah.
So it was nice.
Your brother goes there now, right?
Yeah.
Does he like it? He's like, oh, school, which I know a lot of times kids can be, but
He hates the homework part of it because I feel like every kid does, but the teachers make it fun. Like the homework isn't like the boring homework that I used to get.
Yeah.
It's like
Why are you looking at me when you say that?
these kids have it easy now. They don't know.
Did you see that look she gave me?
Oh, yeah.
I used to teach Maisie back in the day, 3-4 years ago.
Yeah, I learned a lot from you. I really liked your class. I
Yeah,
learned
but
a lot
apparently
about
not the
you.
homework.
Well, I remember you graduated pretty high, right?
Yeah, I was valedictorian.
And he was just like, oh, my student. He was like, oh, it's my time. My student. I was like, Curt, you haven't taught in years. Like, what are you talking about right now? Like, I remember him trying to take all the credit for you getting valedictorian.
She was valedictorian of CALM.
I know.
I was part of that.
Commencement speaker.
Without me,
Commencement
she would have
speaker.
never been in the top 25 nationally in debate.
Yes, I am very grateful for that. I learned a lot about speech and debate from you. It was really nice. Yeah.
I think you know, part of that is natural, though. Whenever it comes to,
Thanks,
Wow.
Gardy. Thanks.
I would say almost 100% of that is natural. Because either you have it or you don't. Like, sometimes you can teach somebody who doesn't know much about that, but you can only do so much. So I think that was all you. Kurt's going to try and take credit for like the semester
I taught her for a year.
that he was there.
He
But
did. His warm-ups were amazing. I still use them to this day. Before
look at
I,
his
like,
face. He's just
do
like,
anything.
ooh, straightening up.
I like it when. So this is the second time that this has happened. Because Gardy usually brings down my teaching. He's like, oh,
Because I
honestly-
walked
honestly,
into your class.
You weren't that good of a teacher.
You were. I saw you teaching the stuff you do, like his music videos for like an entire that's legit a semester.
Okay, chaotic. His classrooms were chaotic. Like I agree, but they were fun, and that's what made learning fun. Like
Yeah, they were fun because they were chaotic, and y'all were not learning. He's the
I
teacher
learned
that
a lot
you.
about cameras and stuff. I have to say up for him now.
See?
I have to stand
I
up
like
for
how
him.
it's like it dips down and then he like gets back up. It's a roller coaster of emotions.
The second thing was when he was like, oh yeah, Curt went to Clown College. And then I'm like, yeah, no, it's Hastings College. And someone goes, yeah, Hastings College is pretty prestigious.
Well, I didn't know it was a real school. I
Yeah.
didn't know it was a real school. I thought you made it up because it's a CD store.
Yeah,
She's
I considered going there. I applied. He even because he was such a good
Because of
speech and debate
him.
coach. Yeah.
He's an ambassador for Hastings College to
Oh,
get your
yeah.
clown shoes.
I'm the biggest microphone that they have for Hastings College, and yet they still don't call me up and be like, "Hey, come
look at
come
you
and
now."
speak, come and speak at the Bronco Award ceremony."
Aren't you on their website or something? I remember
yeah,
you telling us
yeah.
about that.
I was.
I remember you telling us about that. I'm sure he did.
I
Who
was
knows
upside-
what else y'all tell you?
I
he
was
told you.
upside down on the airplane, and that was the picture that was on the page on the website for the longest. I don't know if it's still there. I haven't looked. I haven't been back to college campus
Today. He's like, I haven't been back on the website today.
Today.
He was up there yesterday, but you know.
You were also pretty revolutionary, I would say. I mean, you started a whole TV station there. Did you know he had a whole TV station
Oh,
there?
trust me, I've heard.
Great.
If I never heard any of his stories again, nobody loves Curt more than Curt loves Curt.
If that isn't true.
the other day.
I promise you that. Curt talks about himself more than anybody. Like, I've met a lot of people in my life, right?
Right.
But nobody talks about their accomplishments and what they've done more than Curt has, and that's
Agree.
100% the truth.
Agree.
You
In his
know,
head, he's like the great. Like it's his world, it's his reality show, and we're just.
why was
main
it so hard to do that
side
40
characters.
under 40? Like fill out the accomplishment thing for that.
I feel like it wasn't for
It
you.
was hard. Like I was
You're
like,
just like,
well, how do
I could have filled it out for you with
I
all the
feel like-
stuff you told me.
I feel like it's easier for me to have an in-person interview than it is for me to write it all down. Can we please do that instead? Like I could sit there for like an hour and be like, well, I've done this and this and this, and they're like, okay, sounds good.
Hey, here's something cool. This is from Holly. She said, I'm kind of excited to finally meet y'all. We're excited to meet you too. And I think she's talking about Bayshore Grill.
She said she's going
Tonight.
to be here tonight, 7 o'clock, Bayshore Grill. We're going to be announcing the winner of the cruise giveaway. Thank you to Karen, Edge, and the team from Cruise Planners, Yours Vacation, Edge. We really super appreciate you guys giving us that cruise to give away. We're going to be making that announcement of the winner tonight at 7 o'clock. It's the end of the era for KHEA, but it only opens the door for more opportunities. We have a lot coming up that we can't wait till next week to make the announcement about.
Do you ever hear when people say it's the end of an era? Whenever they're talking about error, like it's the end of an error.
It's kind of, yeah.
Have you ever heard anybody say that? This is not. This was a 100% awesome decision, but I've also heard, like, whenever the Rockets had Dwight Howard and they ended up, getting rid of him, trading him, or letting him go in free agency, people said it's the end of an era. I just think it's funny.
The one thing
I like Dwight.
that's hard for me that I've never really thought about is error in baseball.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Okay.
It's spelled the exact same way. It's ERR.
O-R.
Right.
Yes.
And I've always, like the first time I saw it, like actually like written out instead of just the E, like it is on the scoreboard, I was like, what? That's weird.
You didn't know that was how you spelled the word.
Yes, I didn't think it was the same thing. For the longest time as a young kid, I just thought
It was
the
error?
E, yeah, I don't know. It was weird. I was like, what? That looks weird. I just remember that was one of those moments as a kid. It's like, oh, makes sense.
It's all right, Curt.
I'm sorry. I'm a little slow sometimes.
Well, I don't know what to say to that, except okay. Hey, there's some cool stuff going on in the community. One of our good friends who came up earlier was Joe Perez, who is supposed to be in studio next week. We just need to confirm that 100 times and make sure that he's here because he's very busy. He's a good guy.
Yes, 2 weeks away, actually.
And he re-released a video for 3 Acres Food Truck Park, which we're in. I saw he had shared that out.
He did? I missed that.
Yeah. You need to follow. You turn your notifications on, man.
He's actually on my See First list. So he actually shows up on my See First.
Yeah, so this is my koozie. Joe has helped keeping my drink cold today, which is gone now. So, and it worked the entire time. So, yeah, check out Texas Chronicles, History, Mystery, and Adventure. One of our good friends. He's actually a partner here at KHEA. We love everything he puts out because it's great quality content. And he's a likable, great guy. And it just works.
It does. It's really kind of cool to see all of his cool stuff. He's getting fancier in
What do
a
you
way.
mean fancy?
I saw some lights the other day that I'm like, dang, you didn't have these lights when you filmed at 3 Acres.
Well,
Or
he
the
probably
last
felt
time.
like he didn't need it because it's outside.
But also the other times I've seen him film, I've never seen those lights before.
I've seen him post lights whenever he takes pictures of food.
Oh, okay.
So maybe, I don't know if it was a picture thing, but was it a picture of the video taking place?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, at the next
seen
one,
that
which
before.
was, he posted about it the other day.
Yeah. It's a local, I believe it's a Mexican restaurant called like Joe's Seafood, Jolie Seafood maybe?
Joe Seafood, I think it was.
I think I'm making it up. Anyways, hey, what are you guys up to? I see y'all watching on here. We're streaming live on Facebook. Have you shared this video out? Are you going to be at Bayshore Grill tonight? And what do you have planned this weekend? Is this something we need to be at? Is this something that we need to know about? Please let us know. And if we can't make it, and if it's an awesome cause and we need to let people know, then we can share that out as well.
Yeah, one of the things we get asked all the time, like, hey, we have this event that's going on. Hey, we want to promote this. The easiest way is to make us a co-host of the event. That allows us to send out the information to our audience, and we really appreciate it.
Hey, Holly said Jolie's. That's what I was. Yeah, Jolie's is where he went. I thought that was a pretty cool name for an establishment, for a restaurant.
If you had a restaurant, Gardy, what would that be?
I can't tell you the name. It's secret. If I say it, it's so good, somebody would jump on it, and I wouldn't blame them because it's the name alone guarantees it's going to be a success. What about you?
I have to put my name in it somehow.
Of
you
course.
know,
Well, I'm shocked.
like Joe. I'm sure
Kurt
the
C's.
guy's name is Joe, so like it'd be like Curtsy's Hamburgers or something like that.
Yeah, Kurt C's.
Yeah.
We should call her mom.
You want to call my mom?
Yeah, see what she's up to. And I would ask, but when I talk to your mom, who's great, she's like another version of you. Like it's the craziest thing ever. Like literally, it's a little scary how that is. But I'd be like, has Kurt always talked? She's like, well, Gardy, like when Kurt was a little boy, and then go into the store because nobody loves Kurt more than Kurt loves himself. And then
You're
number
gonna hold
two,
that.
number
I
two
said
on the
it
list
one time.
is Kurt's mom. Nobody in this world besides Kurt loves Kurt as much as Kurt's mom does.
Kurt's mom probably loves Kurt a little bit more than that.
Then you love yourself?
Then yeah, I think she loves
Kurt.
me more.
There's no way. There is no way.
I think she's on.
Hello?
You're squelching in my ear.
I am not.
How's it going?
Good.
What are you up to?
I was just getting ready to go get groceries.
So we were talking about a couple things, and you love Kurt a lot. Like a lot, right?
I owe him a lot?
No. You love him a lot.
Oh, well, it depends on the day, but yeah.
Wow. Thanks, Mom.
I love you, Kurt. You know that.
But we were trying to figure out if you are the one person in the entire world who loves Kurt the most. And then Kurt kind of was like, well, nobody loves Kurt as much as Kurt loves Kurt. And then you're number two. Would you argue against that or agree?
Oh, I would agree.
But I feel like Naola loves me more than my mom loves me, right?
No way.
No?
Negative.
You know what? Naola loves you differently, but you won't understand that until you have children of your own.
We may be waiting for a real long time, Kurt,
Wow.
Kurt to understand love.
Kurt, I don't want to be an 80-year-old grandmother. You have just a small window here where I can enjoy my grandchildren.
So
And
I got
they can
5
enjoy
years? You
themselves.
can't put 5 years on me, Mom.
He needs to get married first, hopefully.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
But I got 5 years? Because you're 75, right, Mom?
Well, my body is.
Aw.
Aw.
Kurt keeps saying February 2020 is whenever he's trying to get married or something.
I told him he should get married February 20th, 2020.
Ooh.
2/20/2020. Isn't that catchy?
It is. My birthday's the 19th, and that might be a little close, though.
It's a Thursday.
It's a Thursday? Okay.
How do you know it's a
Yeah.
Thursday? Mom, are you...
But 2/22/2020 is a Saturday.
2/22/2027.
My mom's been looking at this calendar for a very long time.
So what is the 14th? What does Valentine's Day fall on?
I don't know.
Okay. Well, let's see if the
4 days before, it's probably a Saturday.
oh, that might be good. That's going to be busy. So Butler's
Friday?
Friday.
2020 minus 6 days. The 20th is a Thursday, so if you said it would be a Friday.
Dude.
I was close.
But you know what? You don't want to get married on Valentine's Day.
He does. Kurt, tell her why.
You know why, Mom? Then you don't ever have to worry about getting 2 gifts. You just get 1 gift, and then you don't have to worry
I
about
know.
Valentine's Day.
That's why the woman doesn't want to get married on
Guys love it.
Valentine's Day.
I used to joke I wanted someone who also had a birthday on Valentine's Day. Then you could get married, have Valentine's Day, and the anniversary all on the same day. You don't have to worry
You
about.
are so selfish.
Think of the lucky girl out there.
Yeah,
Kurt,
yeah,
do you buy gifts?
yeah.
For Kurt.
For Kurt.
Yeah.
You know
I'm
the.
thinking it's been 3 or 4 years since I've gotten a gift from you.
It's getting hot in here.
It is getting hot.
It's getting really hot in here. You know the
Mother's Day, birthdays, Christmas. He tried giving me a coupon book for hugs, and I was like, Kurt, did you even give your mom a coupon book for hugs? And he was like, oh, she lives far. I said, mail her a
use it.
card.
I do. Anyways,
We're talking to Kurt's mom right now.
oh my gosh, Kurt's mom.
You know, one of the nicest gifts Kurt ever gave me was a book entitled Mom Because of You. And it sits on my dresser. And it
Aw.
reminds me that even though he doesn't call me except when he's on the radio, and even though he doesn't call me on Mother's Day or even text me on Mother's Day,
I'm crying.
I know he loves me.
I don't
Because of
remember.
this book that he gave me 10 years ago.
Yeah, I was gonna say when was this? Because I actually maybe or may not remember.
What
this.
can we do to? I mean, because I feel like he should call you, like even on your, your birthday, Mother's Day, Christmas. Send a card. Like it's not
Easter, Thanksgiving, it would be nice.
just to check on you.
Mom, are you
Well,
gonna
not
go?
to check on me, just to say, hi, Mom, I love you.
I do. I'm calling you right now, Mom.
Yeah.
Oh man, things got real. Hey, I mean, if you're watching on Facebook, let us know. What do y'all think about this Curt dilemma? What if we?
Well,
I would give Curt
listen,
$1 for a stamp. I could do that, like, to make sure that he can like send a card and stuff. Would that help, Curt?
You might have to buy the stamp, address it, and sign it, love, Curt.
Oh.
Wow.
You're probably right, but so my son makes a ton of cards, and I can get him to like maybe start making cards and get him a Curt, and then I'll give him $1, sign, address, and stamp it, and sign it, so then I send it to you.
Well, if the post
Will you
office
watch
wasn't making
over
it so
him and make sure
expensive.
he does it.
Yeah, I go to the post office all the time, and Kurt's like in the car because I live in League City. My mom lives in Lamarck, and I mail her cards just because I love her, and I go to the post office. So, I mean, while I'm doing that, maybe I could just help him do that too.
Gardy,
Yes.
can you adopt me?
You know what? I may have to.
No, because then you're gonna have to move to Texas, and I don't know if I want that.
Have you seen any of the house hunting videos that we've done by chance?
Oh, please don't tell her about that. I'm trying to hide it from her.
No, I haven't.
Okay, good.
Just
Because I
wondering,
didn't
that's
say
all.
anything bad. I didn't say anything like, "Hey, Gardy, I can't get this house because it has a guest bedroom, and my mom will want to come and visit if I have a guest bedroom. Like, I just need to have a 1-bedroom apartment the rest of my life."
I could stay with Gardy.
Yeah. You know what? We
He's
were
gonna
looking on.
adopt me.
We were looking on 6th Street the other day, and there was this building for sale, and they had a nice backyard. And Curt was like, "Hey, there's enough space if you wanted to put like an extra little, like a prefab house or another building over there." He was like, "Yeah, then my mom could stay there." So there's that. That would be actually kind of cool.
I think I
but,
said it sarcastically. I didn't say it like, "Yeah, let's do this." Don't give my mom any
Well,
ideas.
Blake loves me enough that he's already told me that he's building a mama guest house out back.
And Blake's your
And
brother,
I-
right, Curt?
Yeah. And I told him, I said, okay, but you got to get the pool in too.
Hey, so there's some comments coming
spoiled.
in, and Holly's saying, "Hey, call your mom, Curt." Russ is saying, "Curt, you're in trouble." The general consensus is Curt should reach out to his.
I'm a good son.
I just want him to call me like once every 3 months.
Once every 3 months would be good.
Well, once a week would be nice. When he was in college, if I hadn't called him by Sunday, he would call me and say, Mommy didn't call me this week. And now when I call him, he says, this is Curt. Please leave a message.
Oh.
I'm passionate
he
about
says-
radio.
Or he says, I've got 2 minutes to talk, so make it fast. Hi, Curt.
Wow.
Bye, Curt.
Oh.
Man, this got serious real quick. Curt, are you okay? How are you feeling right now? He's silent.
I'm a little hurt.
How are you hurt?
Okay,
We're getting called out.
audience, you need to stay on top of Curt, and every day ask him, have you called your mom?
Okay. You know what? I'm going to do a better job at reminding him. I feel like I'm partly responsible for this, and I just wanted to apologize to you, Mrs. Casper, for that. So I'm gonna do a better job of being diligent on him to make sure he calls you, even when we're not on the radio, or every day when we're on the radio.
Mom, did you enter to win the cruise?
I did.
Are you going to be tuning in at 7 o'clock tonight to see if you win?
There's Central Time there too.
Tonight,
Yeah.
probably I won't be able to because we have our Relay for Life garage sale tonight.
Awesome.
Well, if you win, which you can't win, then it's going to be awesome, and we'll let you know.
What's the Relay for Life?
Relay for Life is something they do for cancer. Our county has one every year. We raise about $100,000
That's awesome.
for the Cancer Foundation, and it's all donated. It's all money that we donate to cancer research, and it's kind of a nationwide thing. They have several. Well, I mean, we didn't start it, but
So y'all raised
we've
about
been doing
$100,000.
yeah, I've been doing it since Curt was little enough that the first time I did it, I pushed him around in the stroller. Do you remember going to
Was he
Relay, Curt?
was he 13?
Oh, yeah, we used to go all the time. Every
13,
year
14
we
years
went.
old?
In
Yeah,
the
well, I still
stroller.
go every year.
I don't remember being super young, but I remember being young enough that, they used to do it at the Lexington High School track. But didn't they change it to Gothenburg?
Well, Gothenburg and Cozad. First, Lexington started it. And then the two other larger towns in our county are Gothenburg and Cozad. And they wanted to get involved too. And so they do it one year at each place. But now I think it's on a 2-year.
Right now it's 10:54. We're talking to Curt's mom and learning about this cool stuff that she's a part of that if we wouldn't have called her today, we wouldn't have known about. So, why is that important for you to be involved with raising money for cancer research and trying to figure out that how we can smash it? Why is that important for you?
Well, first off, I have just caring spirit about me. So we've been involved with it for over 20 years. Probably close to 30. Like I said, Curt was in a stroller when we first started doing it. But mostly, recently, it's because I'm a cancer survivor. It's been 7.5 years. I had stage 4 tonsil cancer. Cancer will grow in any cell in your body, so listen to your bodies because you know it better than anyone else. And if something isn't right, get to the doctor early. I had never heard of tonsil cancer, didn't dream it could be cancer, and could have gone years before and saved myself a lot of struggle going through the treatment. The treatments are bad. There's a lot of lasting symptoms after the treatments that suicide survivors deal with. You guys can hear one of those. My voice is never the same. I used to sing soprano, and now I kind of sing bass, and I sound like I'm a 50-year smoker because of having had cancer treatment. And so get checked early. Do self-checks where they can. Don't be afraid to go to the doctor and get those checks done. And the cancer I had has a 5% 5-year survival. And when I found out I had it, I dropped to my knees and I prayed to God, just give me those 5 years, because I had a son at home still. And he had 5 years of school left. And I just needed 5 years to get him raised. And thankfully, I made it the 5 years. Now, of the 5% that survived, 20% will reach 10 years, and I'm at 7.5. So I feel very blessed to have lived long enough to get wrinkles and gray hair, and now I just wish one of my boys would make me a grandma.
Oh my goodness!
Get married and make me a grandma.
So we need to get Curt married, in the future, and then get those grandkids coming.
Yeah, he needs to be on the 9-month plan after marriage.
Okay, that makes sense.
Is that okay, Curt?
No.
I thought maybe you'd fainted on the floor when I said that.
Oh, yeah, I did.
Sometimes
for
he
sure.
acts like he wants kids, and then sometimes he doesn't. He's I think he's still deciding.
I want you to give me a raise before I have a kid.
Okay.
Like that's the first step, right?
Yeah.
Curt will make an awesome father.
Well,
He's always loved kids. He used to help with Bible school, and the kids have always loved him. And
He's shaking his head. Yes, this is the
there
first time he's agreed with you this entire conversation. He's like, yeah,
Well, I agreed about the
would."
gray hairs too, but I didn't say anything then. You know.
Oh my goodness.
oh, Kurt,
Hey, you know what? Thank you for chatting with us for a bit, and that's thank you for everything that you continue to do, even back in Nebraska with the Relay for Life, and that's cool. And we can kind of see where Curt does get that spirit of, hey, I want to give back as well.
We need to get my mom on like a way to take video, so then she can like send a video and we can post it. Then it's like I spent time with my mom. Wow. Like just be like, hey, this is Kurt's mom. Here at,
At the Relay for Life. That would be really
garage,
cool if she's reporting
right?
from Nebraska.
Yeah, and it goes on, like, we give her editor access on the Facebook. Oh, I can just imagine the things that she would
I'd
say.
love to have editor access on your Facebook.
Oh, not his. Curt has, we've talked about this yesterday. Curt has like authentic, I can't even say the word, but like you have to have like presidential access to be able to get into his Facebook. There's like 1 block, 2 block, 3 block. You have to do like retina scan, saliva, things that aren't even possible. He has it. And I'm like, what are you keeping in there? What are you keeping in there that's so important?
Got to protect the most important asset of my life.
Curt.
Kurt. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Thank you, Mrs. Casper, for chatting with us. But hey, be blessed and thank you for everything you continue to do.
Love you, Mom.
Oh, thanks. Love you, Kurt. Call me.
Only on the radio.
I know. All right. Have a good day.
Bye.
Bye, fans.
My heart just broke, Curt.
Love you,
I
Mom.
don't even know. You tell her after she hangs up. Okay. Well, there you go. Kim said, hey, yay, Kurt's mom for Relay for Life, a great community event to honor those who have passed and are survivors of cancer. You're a warrior, Mama. I agree.
Thanks. Thank you, Mom, for all that you do.
It's 11 o'clock. This has been Kickstart's KHEA Radio, 99.5 FM. Y'all be blessed. We'll see you tonight. We'll see you tonight at Bayshore Grill.
7 o'clock. Be there. Thank you to Karen Edge and the team from Cruise Planners, Your Vacation Edge. We appreciate ya.
All right. Bye.